Hello, hello. We are up again. So it is time to get some intermediate games in. Let's see who we have in the first round. See what the bracket looks like. Let's cast. Ooh, Pope Patty versus Potatoes Devil. Perfect. Let's see how Bretonia's greatest champion is ever going to defeat somebody on a non-Bretonia. Yo, yo, yo.
Hey, Randy.
Are you playing in this one?
Oh no.
You're not playing freaking, what is it?
And haven't you seen? I've been playing land battles the entire day. Empire is fucking broken there, apparently.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What? Oh, I see like a bunch of land battles. Yeah, that's actually true. Wait, is that the 2v2?
No, I
Or
don't know.
or
No,
the
I've.
fruit rules thing? Like when I'm in the multiplayer lobby thing, like there's only like land battle, land battle, land battle. I think there's a tournament going on. I heard B6 now just going for fruit rules or trying to learn them. I'm home. Too late. The double engineer. Yeah, double engineer is absolutely crazy. Also, Max, I am very sad about this, but look at this. All of the replays are completely fucked from the league. So, unfortunately, League 4 probably not going to get cast. I'll try to re-download the replays, but I am not very hopeful. Like, somehow, if you can also check for me if all of your replays are also fucked, just so that I can see if it's just a me problem or a different type of problem. I don't know why CH just does this. They fucking just updated the devotees, and that borked the entire, like, the entire multiplayer library that I had for some reason. Yeah, wait, why are there no domination stuff? Domination lobbies. Am I in the wrong version of the game or something? Tax evasion for free. How do I not see this? Hmm. One sec, guys. For some reason, my Warhammer is fucked. So let me just restart. Yeah, it's just not showing up for me. What? Mod manager? Oh, for some reason my total tavern mod unsubscribed itself.
Or maybe that is when you were downgrading. the game.
No, but I relaunched it after too. Just didn't show up. Oh, there we go. Okay, tax evasion for free. Got
Wait, what?
it. This is a normal.
Does League offer these services now? Are we expanding?
Yes, we should be. We should be. So let me just go to the map setup. Okay, so tax evasion, a classic in Serbia, by the way. Totally not doing it myself, right?
Are we not gonna check on builds, right?
Okay, let's see, and hope that they aren't watching at least right now on the stream. Patty and Potato don't view each other's builds, okay? We actually have a Grand Cathay into vampire counts. Damn, this is becoming ever so more popular. I guess the rats have been infected by Leech Lord and are now going into Grand Cathay for some reason. Or they're infected by Opal's crazy strategies and then going into Grand Cathay. Oh no. Oh, no.
God.
Oh no.
This man probably doesn't know the
Oh.
magic damage corpse card exists for Grand Cathay.
Not only that, but when you look at this, you
and also Furies. Yeah,
also
like
Furies, right? You just have the Empress Croman and the Onyx Croman just have magic damage. So you just insta-die. And if this guy is going... Oh, he's going for Final Trans-Searing Doom. He isn't going for the Double Wind Blast, which is another classic that you could just clear the entire opponent's army. Is this the magic corpse card?
Yes, it is the RR one. Okay. Like it gets this Fury of the Falling Blade or something.
Yeah, Fury of the Falling Blade. Damn, that's quite unfortunate if Pope goes for that type of build. And we will know, Pope, that you're watching because you're gonna swap out 4 fucking Cairn rates randomly. So don't.
Look, maybe it's just a coincidence.
Such a great coincidence to change your entire army just before you start the game, right? Crazy coincidence.
Okay, but now we know he isn't watching.
Yeah, at least.
In the right mind would bring 4 Cairn race into that.
Yeah, but I think. Oh, was it? No, Max. I think you were playing the Lizards. Or somebody was playing. I think Berserk might have been playing Grand Cathay, and Max, you might have been playing Vampire Counts.
Oh yeah, I remember that game.
Was it the one that he also brought just a bunch of Cairn rates? Max, we're shaming you. So
yeah, and I remember Berserk also overcooked with like the.
Oh, it was like the Moonbird caster, and then he brought like 4 spells on each of the casters, but didn't bring Wind Blast.
No, like the Moonbird was fine. I think he brought I forgot the name. It's that thing that gives you bound spells. Like that's all it does.
The compass. Yeah. The compass.
Yeah, so he brought the compass to kind of spell kite and then unsummon it. Oh my god.
Yep.
Hilarious.
That was quite a game. And Tom, it is pretty good into counts, depending on what build you go for. So let's say for this Jade War Drum, it has the ability to give everything magic damage. So, and it also can cause fear. That means like nothing is taking any sort of leadership penalties, and you're already playing a box, so that's totally fine. But yeah, this thing is really strong. And also the Empress's Crowman, as well as any other Furies, or what are they called? Onyx Crowman, on the entire roster, completely counter the Cairn rate play that we see from Pope Patty in this matchup. So he kind of overcooked. This is something that you usually like to do into Empire with the max Cairn rates, just because they have a lack of ability to go into magic damage, but it is not the same for Grand Cathay. They seem fine. Maybe one of the replays. Okay, I'll then re-download the replays and try them again, because all of them, for some reason, for me, lost the map that they're on and the like factions of each of the players. And when I try to load them, it like loads a default map that doesn't exist and then crashes the game. So I'm hopeful then that it's just me, and then if I re-download the replays, they might be okay. So for the other guy, for Pope, we got Lamian Vampire Lord, Penumbral Pendulum, Raise Dead is good, lightning reflexes is good to dodge and basically have an ability that is going to mitigate a bunch of damage from the final transmutation. Same for the Scepter of Stability, they're just good counters. So he did well in countering that. And then he cooked with the Cairn Rates and a bunch of garbage. While for Potatoes Devil, we got Yuan Bo. Yuan Bo with the transformation. He's got the Emperor's Executioner, so he can kill a single entity here. And for the rest of it is just gonna be like the classic Jade Warrior Halberds. I honestly don't know if you over need Halberds here, but I think it's fine. There isn't also Scabscrat in this game for some reason, and I don't get why, because that would instantly shut down any sort of like ranged shooting, which would be like Iron Hails and or let's say whatever the crossbows are called that you usually also bring. He's also not controlling his army in a formation, so he's kind of waddling up a bit further frontally, which is fine at the start, but you need to like check your formation properly in the middle of the game. And it's gonna be a classic, I'm gonna hold the line right here, try to eke my way onto the second objective, while just summoning in a bunch of stuff to reinforce. And if somehow, let's say with the dogs and or with some cav, you can get in the back line of Grand Cathay, you can actually just destroy them really good. Cathay can bring bombers here, yeah. It's actually pretty okay. Also, Iron Hills are okay, but they're kind of just countered by Scabscrat, and so are bombers, honestly. So you just want to grind potentially sometimes and then spell damage them. You usually don't go for double Alchemist, you go for double whatever the fuck the other guy is called, Astromancer, and then just go chaff clearing stuff with double Wind Blast and max spell amp. Because one Wind Blast basically kills an entire can rate and clears zombie chaff like insanely quickly. So that's why they're super strong. Also, this is a bit of a blunder with too big of a formation, in my opinion, from the side of Potatoes Devil. He could be a bit closer, just so that there aren't any holes in his formation where the undead can potentially get through. But then the Iron Hills wouldn't have too much to shoot at, right? And let's see if these guys, yeah, these guys are fucking obstructed, which sucks. This is like stupid levels of obstruction in how the game works, because the corpse cart is technically a large unit, so these guys really should have the ability to shoot here. And this is what we're talking about. This just random skeleton waddles in, and you have dogs coming in from the backside, and like a weird formation also here, turning around on the dogs. That's actually a good volley. So let's see how this goes. Oh no, he's also using the Bastion of the Great Wall. He's not even using this ability, which is quite unfortunate.
That's a huge mistake.
That is a really, really big mistake. Getting expert charge defense against basically like zombies charging into you. This is so unfortunate. Also, not looking at the Lamian Vampire Lord is summoning in the zombies onto the Iron Hill Gunners, but the Iron Hill Gunners are kind of running away. Empress's Crowmen are here. This is probably the biggest blunder. Oh, he swapped to the Fury. Okay, he swapped to the magic damage now, and is just clearing stuff out.
He should close the stream though.
Yeah.
As soon as you point it out.
Oh, that's true. Also, overcasting Searing Doom. Terrible, terrible. Sipa will haunt his dreams. Over here, we see a huge blob. If there was like a final transmutation and something to technically hunt down this corpse cart, that would be really good. But I don't know if he has the womp for it. He goes for the Lamian Lord. This is technically smart. Just, oh, he went for a blob creation. Oh, this is a good final transmutation going for it. I don't know what chunked the fuck out of this Lamian Vampire Lord. Jesus Christ. Like, there's no way. It stood in the final transmutation for like 2 seconds, man. That's crazy damage. That's really good.
It's spell amped, so...
It is spell amped, but it was like 3 seconds, man. What the hell? There's no way.
Well, probably Yuan Bo also executed her.
No, Yuanbo execution is at oh,
No,
that's
no, it is used as 0. So no, you can use it at any time.
what?
It's just if it's below,
20%.
yeah.
Interesting.
You can use it like a Spirit Lich, but if it's below 20%, it's supposed to kill the target. But to be
Yeah.
fair, I never saw it actually kill the targets. Like, it's
I
the
have,
threshold. It
I
just
have
does
never
damage.
seen it. Yeah, I have never seen it be used on non 20%. I've seen maybe like 2 executions ever, and one of them was on like a Turin video or something. But I legit haven't ever seen this. The Emperor's Crowman clearing out Cairn rates. This is really good. We see some Jade Lancers also coming in to clear the chaff. Also pretty good. The Jade Warriors are holding and are in the range of the Jade War Drum, so this is also very good fighting for them, just because they have magic damage now and are cooking the Cairn rates. So, it seems... Oh my god, if I look at the value, I didn't look at the value at all. That value difference is huge. That's 4.5k. Crazy. Also, stop overcasting. Pope, please stop overcasting the Searing Dooms. Really don't need them. But that one final transmutation basically cooked the entire army of Pope Patty there. And now that Yuan Bo is going into the corpse carts and taking care of all of the big units, here's the Vampire Lord also getting kind of shot at by the Iron Hells. He can technically take also the Empress's Crowman and chase down the Lord. Probably. There's nothing that can stop it. It has 600 HP. If it dies, it is a really good thing. And the 2 alchemists are doing relatively well. Oh, hello Black Fang, welcome, and thanks. Love that there are people loving the videos. For the rest of this, our Hill Gunners can potentially just be microed a bit out, but I think at this point Potatoes Devils does have this game. It's just a matter of time, unless he completely forgets about the objectives. He needs soon-ish to just get onto the actual objectives and then capture at least one by the time that he has 1k. If he captures one objective before 1k, he's completely in the clear. Also resummoning in a corpse cart. Ooh, Unholy Lodestone resummon. That is definitely not the play from Pope Patty. Getting in a 500 unit that basically does nothing later into the game and needs support to support the actual fighting is not really that good. So, but I don't feel like the entire army of Pope Patty actually has anything to do at this point. And as we see, Objective 2 is getting captured slowly. Objective 1 is kind of getting captured, probably will be relatively soon. And as long as we see like a steady summoning of units from Potatoes Devil, we're gonna be totally fine. 2,500 that on the Vampire Counselor. Really? Oh, you mean the damage of it? Yeah. Potentially true. But there's nothing that can kill Yuan Bo. And as long as there's just one objective capture, and Potatoes Devil has eyes that will look up at the middle of the screen, I think he's totally fine. Yeah, there goes the second objective, and at this point, I think this game is pretty much over. Really looking, let's check out the value on the casters. 500 on this guy, and let's see, 1k, only 1k from that insane final transmutation. That's honestly surprising. I thought it did more, but it just looked like it did more. Honestly, potentially it was just into like a bunch of zombies. And we got our first victory in the tournament, or at least the first one that we see. Congrats to Potatoes Devil, this is really good. Hello, Nemke. Nemke is one of my IRL friends. So hello and welcome to... Oh my god, that's really good value on Iron Hills. 1.3k. Jade Warriors, did totally fine. As we already saw, Yuambo did actually really well, 1.5k. And then the rest of it was just the Jade Lancers clearing shit up. He had, Jesus Christ, he had 5 Iron Hell Gunners? Is this a thing, Killian? Do people really bring 5 Iron Hell Gunners in this matchup?
Well, I mean, I don't think it's good and it counts, but there are only 2 people playing Grand Kate. It's Scrambled and Daniken, so,
Yeah, Scrambled Daniken and Opal, who is doing Spell Cheese right now. So, yeah, that is a thing. Definitely, I think he could have dropped 2 Iron Heels and grabbed, and potentially just and 1 Spearman to grab like 2 more or 3 more Onyx Crowmen. And I think this build is like totally fine. He can also just bring 1 Alchemist and 1 Wind Blast Caster, honestly. And with that, I think this army is like completely solid from Pope Paddy. From the side of Potatoes Devil. For Pope Paddy, definitely don't go Cairn Raids. Cairn Raids aren't a thing properly in this matchup, just because there's a huge abundance of magic damage here. You probably want Graveguard, honestly, because Graveguard have 90 armor, and they can grind properly. And the main thing that that Grand Kate has a problem with is armor. So if you go like max Graveguard with 5 Graveguard normal, 5 probably like 4 of the 5 normal, and then a couple of the great weapons to just grind out with the cab that comes in or stuff like that. And also like Crypt Ghouls are probably really good in this matchup. Other than that, yeah, I think everything else was I like the Lamian Vampire Lord, honestly, just because you can stop the if you time it well, you can get the 40% magic resistance to counteract the final transmutations. Though it technically wasn't properly used in this game, because the Lord did get chucked. And let's get some replays, because this round ain't good and it's gonna be over anytime soon. So, okay, we got one from Daysburg versus Von Karstein. Oh, was this the final? No, Von Karstein was the finalist last time. That's pretty cool. Let's see how he changed up his style. He's playing Bretonia this time. He played Vampire Counts last time. Let me also just go back to chat. Yeah, Ronin, I don't think you're gonna understand much here, just because you don't play the game as much. But very glad to have you either way. Let's see here. So we got greenskins into Bretonia. I think Bretonia is less favored in this matchup, just because you have a bunch of pointy sticks.
Yeah.
But he didn't bring any pointy sticks though. So, oh no. Why bring goblins when you can bring goblin spears, man? What?
They're cheaper, man.
But
That's
25 cheaper, man. What? That is unfortunate. But from the armies of Daysburg, we got Warzag on his little pony thing. Gaze of Mork, Effigy of the Git, Brain Bursta, Fist of Gork. Not really that cheap. Also went for Bonewood Staff, Power of the Wa. Then just a front line, and the Ruglets, classic. And then just a bunch of chaff with normal goblins and orc boys with spears. Interesting. And he did go for the skirmish cav, which is going to fight the mounted yeoman here. And yeah, quite difficult. One of the hardest matchups, I can imagine that, just because you have just infinity cheap spears, right? And your front line already loses. So if they just pop WA while they're in combat, you just instantly win. From the other side, we see a couple of peasant bowmen. We see Knights of the Realm, just a bunch of frontline cheap shit with the men-at-arms, and a couple of yeomen with King Lewin, Leon Kerr on his Hippogriff thing. So King Lewin, did he bring Beloved Summon of Bretonia? He did, nice. Okay, so Beloved Summon of Bretonia, great ability. When Lewin falls below 50% HP, he basically gives crack to all of his peasants, and then they just wreck shit up. I don't know what happened with this Chain Lightning right here, but I suppose it's probably casted into the Ruglets, but they just continued going to the back, which is, yeah, kind of an unfortunate thing. These guys really should not be getting compromised by, like, the Peasant Bowmen, but they're kind of in each other's face at max range here, so the Ruglets really should start shooting into the Peasant Bowman fire arrows at this point, and then fight them there. Lewin just chilling over here, doing a debuff, Sword of Corone onto the Boar Boy Biggins. And yeah, they're gonna be winning that fight with Knights of the Realm. I think he's pretty afraid to land over there, just because there is a bunch of Bacon Cav over there. And we already see a WAP up, which is gonna make this entire like roster right here really difficult to take care of from the side of Bretonia. And they're already collapsing with just a squig herd getting into the back line. Catapult or Trebuchet Technically kind of shooting into the Ruglet, but oh no, friendly fire into the Spearmen who instantly break. Damaged by artillery, damage sustained. Friends routing, I don't know where they see some friends, but yeah, they're deep in enemy lines. And over here, we see a, what was it, a Gaze of Mork, but it did nothing. I think it hit a tree or something like this one right here. So it technically, it isn't the best into cav. It's really good into the side of any type of infantry here. And this infantry blob, like, look, this is absolutely absolute destruction for poor Britonia over here, especially with the swamp things. Like, debuffing this blob, these guys had like zero ability to hit them. Like, overwhelming odor, goodbye. 14 melee attack, they're not hitting shit. And these guys are also, when they kill the Grail Relic, this entire blob will just instantly die. So I think this game is pretty much over, especially with the Bacon Cav going into the Mounted Yeomen and the Goblin Wolf Riders already just shooting into everything here. And we have the Broken Tusk Mob also compromising the rest of this entire force. I think this is pretty much over. Grail Relic actually routes. I don't think I've ever seen a Grail Relic route. Oh no. Oh no. We see a Chain Lightning into the blob. A very nice Chain Lightning. Honestly, here hitting 3 units at the same time. But it just isn't enough. It is just a full-on clean house cleanup. And I don't know what has this damage meter been smoking. But if you look at the entire map here, like, there's no way that this is so close. So I think we can just speed this up and get into the next round, depending on how the other games are going. Let me just double check. Yeah, it's one game is pretty much left. And King Lewin can't get anywhere near this, so there's no way that he lands and like fights the swamp things or something. I feel like Green Knight should have been summoned way earlier. Green Knight is actually a really good thing in this matchup. The problem is that you kind of do have a way to kill him with Fist of Gork. So, oh my god, look at him. Look at him go, man. Killing Warzag basically instantly. So if Warzag comes back and then now puts a Fist of Gork on these guys are gonna be like, call an ambulance, but not for me. And then absolutely murder the Green Knight. But I don't think our boy Daceberg is watching properly. He did do a very good surround. And, oh, here we go. Fist of Gork, and then we watch the Green Knight die. Goodbye, Gilles. So, very good game from Daceberg. Spears aren't even a big problem because your infantry will hold against spears. Yeah, and you recharge in the instant break. Watching this game is what VC must have felt like for Maximilian. Oh my god, throwing shade instantly back at Max. Poor Max catching strays. When do you see a goblin get 440 value, man? It's pretty funny. Orc Boy Spears, 900 value. The other archers doing relatively fine. Oh, we had some big uns too. Big uns are really good in this matchup. I don't like the orc big uns, the normal ones, especially when you have the savage that gets 20% 20% physical resistance and kind of have just better animations, honestly. Whenever I put this unit into a blob fight, these guys just don't do any damage compared to the Savage Orc Boy Biggins, which actually just destroy them like when they connect, and also get the 20% Fizz Res. Or however much, I think it's 15 or 20% Fizz Res from the Warpaint. Yeah, relatively solid army. This just feels really, really difficult for the side of Britonia. Definitely should have had the Green Knight out earlier to just go in and snipe the Lord. And if he managed to properly snipe the Lord with like a combo of Lewin and maybe the Green Knight, I think this would have been a bit easier. Honestly, what else can you do here? Just go, like, don't go the cheap route. Don't cheap out. Just go Foot Squires. What is the problem with just going Foot Squires and what are the other guys called? Like Foot Squires and Battle Pilgrims. What's the problem with this? Just going max melee Britonia, fighting them there, and then just investing into, like, let's say 2 sweeper units with like going Grail Knights maybe, and or Pegasus Knights. Not the royal ones, the normal ones probably are good enough. Yeah, like for your reinforcements. I think that's a bit better. And then just you can then just cheap out and go for 1 Grail Relic instead of 2 too. So that makes it so that you don't waste too much money on it. probably don't go for Lewin then, though. You probably go for Elberic on just a Pegasus or something, so that you just get the two abilities, because this one has this courage, so that you can actually break your opponent easily. And then, yeah, I think that's a better tactic here. You just go for Royal Pegasus if you don't have the money for this guy. You grab these two abilities. You just have him as a support character that kind of goes in and snipes, and then your main actual snipe is this guy. Oh, I wonder what a actual build with that would look like. Let's check on the bracket and see if Ponty finished this game. Nope, we're still doing good. Fun, Bretonial replayed to cast. You will love the game. Oh my god. Okay, I'll check that out later, Killian. For the replay, I'll also download two of the other replays technically, just so that we have something in the next round. But I think I'll wait for the next round to be started to cast the replay in live. Just manage some stuff. And yeah, how have your guys' day passed so far? How are you guys doing? Oh, what's there? Hello, Chimbambo, our Bulgarian beast player is also here. So, this is a stripping stream, obviously. That's why I'm taking off a part of my clothing right now. To just start the process every round. We lose one piece of clothing here. If you're new to the stream, welcome to the new rules. So, oh, we instantly gained 2 viewers after me taking off one piece of clothing. Who would have figured? Interesting. Okay, we are done with round 1. Bird should be starting round 2 in a sec. And let's actually check out the bracket, and let me actually show you guys the bracket as well. So let me just make sure that I don't accidentally stream something I'm not supposed to. Browser. There we go. Oh, that's not a browser. That's a browser. Okay. So for now, right now, let's check out who has 1 point, so that we can check out who we're going to be playing today. So Michu, Bird himself. We can probably cast 1 game of Bird, just so that we can showcase the host himself. And yeah, I haven't ever seen this player play a game, so this is quite interesting. Nice to see new faces around. Yeah, we can probably do Bird, Michu. Michu is a great player as well. I don't know if his vampire counts are technically banned in this game. Round 2 fight. Let me just message the host. Let's see how Bird does. Let's also check who got. So Potatoes Devil. Oh, we're going to be casting another Kate game. What is this? Kate stream. This is a great day for Kate enjoyers, of which there are probably like 3. As many players as there are enjoyers. Okay, so is Bird playing Chaos Dwarfs this time? Last tournament he played Ogre Kingdoms. I wonder if he swapped. I can probably check this information, but it's probably buried somewhere. So let me just So he's actually playing Chowie. Interesting. Playing Jay's Driver's main faction. And he is against... Who's he against? Potatoes Devil, right. So Kate. Yeah. Interesting to me, like I just talked to Bees. I don't know what he has against Chowie. He just hates their faces. He thinks they're fake dwarves. So he kind of doesn't like them. Mm. Chowie. What's the problem with Chowie? Main Chowie problem is probably that they don't have spear units. They have, like, this is their only, like, semi-garbage spear unit. Like, they legit don't have any spear units. So they can't protect themselves from like, large targets properly. Because they have hobgoblins. And then the next unit that protects them is, like, 1550. Which is not a great deal, honestly. And then you have some shooting. But the shooting is pretty janky, depending on your depending on your formation. So, yeah, it's kind of just awkward, honestly, playing them. But they're a really strong faction either way, just because they have Kadai and they have trains, right? Those are the two units that absolutely carry the faction. Trains, because the trains are currently broken as hell, because they just have their like little shotgun animations where they can just do 2k damage if they do a proper volley. And then Kadai are just a bit overtuned, especially with the Blazing Body. Like they build this up in melee combat, and they are just unbreakable until they get to 25%, which probably not going to break them anyway. So I don't know. This is kind of useless, but yeah, pretty good unit. They also get like the physical resistance and the 10% from being like kind of a demon, but kind of not. So let's see how this one goes. In this specific matchup, did Bird ban the Chalice of whatever? Chalice of Blood and Darkness? Mask ban, Bloodstreak, Chimera ban, it's not banned. Ah, disgusting abuser host playing the faction and not banning the proper item. So the Sorcerer Prophet has Chalice of Blood and Darkness, which is currently bugged, with the bug being that it triggers within any unit being in 100 meters of your lord. So you basically can't kill the lord if he flies on something like a Lamasu or a Taurus or a Bile Taurus, whatever it's called. So unfortunate. Double Castellan in this matchup is probably really good, just because they're super cheap, and when they dig in, they just have so much more range and are really annoying in like shooting. They're similar to engineers from Empire, so yeah, pretty good stuff from them. I do like them in this matchup. We also see a Sorcerer of Metal, Searing Doom, Final Transmutation, Plague of Rust, all the good spells. You probably don't need to fly in this matchup, although there is definitely a world where you can go around and bully them with flying. Like there's probably a build that nobody has done, which is like Bale Taurus, Lord on a Bale Taurus, and then you just abuse breaths, which is kind of the way that, let's say, Walk plays with chimeras and or dragons, and any faction that has any sort of flying unit that has a breath attack, like they can just bully the hell out of Kate. Oh, quite interesting. So getting a bunch of artillery here is a good play, depending on... Oh, it's Jade Tomb. Ooh, interesting. So this is gonna be a duel. That is a good duel to have, though, from the side of Kate. Honestly, this map is insanely long. One of the longer maps in the Bale Tauruses have only 60 bit. They have 60 leadership. Now you know how freaking what is it? What? The Bale Taurus has 60 base leadership? That is crazy, man. That is Skaven Legendary Lord level leadership, man. That is absolutely terrible. At least they cause terror. You shouldn't be hiding the people's armies to avoid people peeking. If they peek, we'll know. One, we'll know. Other thing, it's honestly, this isn't a high stakes tournament. They aren't getting any sort of win from what is it, or on the leaderboard from this. So honestly, if they want to cheat, they can cheat all they want, but that is just totally unprofessional, and there are no stakes in this tournament to be able to cheat. We're here more for fun and entertainment, and then looking at this screen for like 5 minutes is just not as entertaining as speculating over the armies, honestly. If this was a professional tournament that showcased the that could land on a leaderboard, I would definitely agree with you and just hide the armies for sure and wait for it, like Ant does or Turin does and so on. But at this point, I don't think this is on the viewer's discretion for their games to not be like this. I can also technically put in a delay on it, but I don't find that that very much fun to like not be able to interact with the people's armies as well. So far, Potatoes Devil probably viewing the stream. Why? Because he immediately switched to the proper buff on the Zhangu War Drum, but I kid. He immediately swapped from the Bastion to the Fury of the Fall and stuff when we commented on it. But I'm still kidding. We'll see how this goes. It would be quite funny to see the host going in and be the main cheater. That would probably be pretty hilarious. Like instantly changing his entire army because he knows that there are 2 cannons in the game.
Bird, close the stream, man. What the fuck?
No, he wants to duel the cannons with hobgoblin things, hobgoblin bolt throwers. Also, yeah, this map has, for some reason, it always starts your army looking at the mountain. I don't know what happened there when they were making it. Is this, Chimba, is this a CA map or a community map, by the way? Because if it's a community map, I don't know why we still have this. Like, everybody's facing over here. They're like hands up against the wall. Then you gotta wait. Also, these deployment zones, quite interesting on this map, honestly. I do like them, but it really does give the advantage to something like Beastmen and Wood Elves on this map, where they can basically start right on here and on here, which basically gives them 2 points immediately. Community map, yeah. It's a good map, it's just very favored for certain factions. And for the side of Bird, as we said, we got just a bunch of Chorps, couple of Chorp warriors, couple of Orc laborers with their little hands and axes. They're ready to be slaved away and thrown into the pits against the opponent. Bob made it and left deployment. That's pretty funny then if he did. Also, we have 2 Hobgoblin Bolt Throwers, which is okay. They have really small models for the Bolt Thrower things, so they technically won't die immediately to a cannon, but they're gonna have a difficult time fighting it just because they have 320 range and the cannons have way more. So Grand Cannons 450 range, they're gonna absolutely bully the Bolt Throwers. It's a good idea, but probably something like a Hell Cannon and then just putting it like right in the corner here, or a Death Shriek would probably do a bit better. Death Shrieks are relatively difficult for Grand Kate to shut down unless it's something like this map. Because this map is so open, you don't have anywhere to hide your Death Shriek properly. But putting it, let's say, like right here or something, does let you cover the most of the map, like right like this, probably, with just shooting. And Grand Kate is extremely slow. It's 28 movement speed on most of its infantry. You can still dodge the Death Shriek shots, but it's just not optimal. This is a good play also. Big Bs, if you're looking at this, you understand now how yin and yang works. So Harmony, you grab a Spearman, you put it very near the Grand Cannons, so they get the bonuses from the Harmony buff, which is a bunch of extra stats, right? 4% speed, 12 loading speed, 4 leadership. This is all great stats that do matter in the grand scheme of things when you're playing stuff like Kate. They are the synergistic faction. The usual things always apply from Grand Kate, as we already spoken about in the previous game. So that means that they have a lack of armor piercing. Their armor piercing, only armor piercing unit besides the Jade Lions is the Jade Warrior Halberds. That's why you usually see the Halberds and not the Warriors. And we see some sneaky gits going into the back line. Unfortunately, these guys can't go through this side because, one, there's an objective there, so there's probably some unit that's going to be relatively near, and there also isn't any forest to hide behind, which is unfortunate. let's look at the collateral damage that our boy Bird is taking on the approach. So smartly, he did the like widest possible formation for the unit that is going forward, so that if there is a cannon shot, it goes through the least amount of unit models and actually kills them. But unfortunately, as you can see, he is still taking a bunch of damage on the approach. And now the bombardment has started into the Hobgoblin bolt throwers, which are not gonna have a fun time. They're trying to advance further up to just kill the cannons, but they're gonna be screwed, man, if they go forward. This one already lost, I believe, 2 units. I technically can't see it from from my Discord model overlay thing, but I think it's 2 units already dead. And it is getting kind of in range, but yeah, not very hopeful for it. Sneaky gets playing a very dangerous game. Like, this is the longest go around of their lives, and there's very little chance that they're gonna get over here. Very smartly, also Peasant Horsemen from Potatoes Devil on the side here to stop any sneaky gets coming in from the other side, which would have been the thing to do. Oh, now it's starting. So there is a duel going on, and Grand Cannons are seemingly even losing against the freaking Hobgoblin Bolt Throwers. So Potatoes Devil should definitely go back with the cannons, because they're now gonna start hemorrhaging models. There already 2 of them are completely dead, and he's going to lose the advantage of artillery. He is not even moving forward with his army until now, which is kind of unfortunate too, because if he was moving forward faster, he could make the crew or something just move backwards and or compromise them with something like a spell, which is, oh, he has Chain Lightning. He again doesn't have Wind Blast, which makes sense in this matchup technically, because you don't care about the chaff. But the Hobgoblin Bolt Throwers, man, they're winning against the cannons. Crazy. So right now he's going back with the cannons, but there seems to be just one more model. This one is probably gonna die, depending on how much damage it takes. Come on, little guys, you can shoot. But the more you move backwards, now you're forcing the goblins to move forward, and you still have the artillery advantage with 450, which is pretty nice. But these guys, man, they're taking it with such small models from the artillery crews. They're just totally fine, and they are now shooting into the Iron Hell gunners, compromising them. From Bird, we see just a Spec Ops train, crazy, a Celestial Lion trying to go for the Spec Ops train, and Celestial Lions also kind of have armor piercing, so that is very nice for them. Bird should definitely start moving the Iron Demon into the back lines here to try and get onto him. And Hobgoblins are now going in. They're trying to compromise the graces of Kuan Yin, which I don't know if that's a better play, or trying to go for the Grand Cannons, honestly. Probably Graces, but probably Graces can probably fight back, man. They have better stats. Look at that. They have 20 more melee defense. They're probably not going to take too much damage. See, the Sorcerer Prophet of Metal just casted 1 Searing Doom so far, nothing too special. Iron Demon finally in here, and Kadai are still in the forest, very much afraid of going into stuff like the Jade Warrior Halberd. Hobgoblins getting into the Iron Hails. Nice play, nice compromise, even if they take some damage on the charge. They're probably going to have enough DPS to get through this Iron Hail Gunner before the Peasant Horsemen get onto them. Good dodge from Potatoes Devil on the Jade Warrior crossbows, and if the Iron Demon is properly microed into these 2 units, that is a really, really good play. He did get a attack command into the Iron Hills, and thankfully there weren't too many halberds in the way to get through, to get into them. So far, it seems that Bird is kind of winning the duels on basically everything. The cannons are just wasting their time shooting into the Hobgoblin Bolt Throwers, and even if they're okay, they should definitely swap targets onto the Iron Demon and or the Kadai. Like, they are much higher priority targets than just killing some shitty Bolt Throwers that aren't even getting that much value. Yeah, look at this. 200 value. This one has 400 value. They basically don't matter compared to the rest of your armies. This is a final transmutation. Oh, nasty final transmutation, leading the Jade Lion basically into Celestial Lion into basically the entire blob. Also, still compromising the Iron Hail Gunners, which is very nice. But going onto the Iron Demon, Iron Demon is the main problem in this game. Like, there's nothing to shut it down. The Celestial Lion hunting it is a nice touch, but the problem is that it's so slippery and so fast that the Celestial Lion has such a hard time connecting properly onto it. Especially if there's like random chaff here, like the just the Orc Laborers, and nice Searing Doom, but also partial or just about entirely dodged by the graces of Kuan Yin. Though the Iron Demon just kind of like randomly shoots into them and then kills like 5 models off the one shot. But this game is much closer than the previous one, though I still think it is a bit difficult for our Grand Kate player to fight it out here. Nice Iron Hail volley into the Iron Demon. The problem is that now that when it gets in, it's gonna fucking destroy this unit, and the Peasant Horsemen just have 0 AP. Like 7 AP, they're not gonna be able to kill the Iron Demon. Iron Demon can probably turn around and kill both of these units even with 1k HP. And now it's even trying to go into the double Grand Cannons, and it's too close, man. If these cannons were shooting at the Iron Demon throughout the game, they would have chipped this 1000 damage at that time, so this Iron Demon wouldn't even be in the backline here. It does get surrounded in the end. If it just does like a little steam explosion here, that would also kind of probably kill most of these units. Nice Searing Doom coming in onto the Peasant Horsemen, and until you absolutely kill the Iron Demon, even at 100 HP, it is still a complete menace that also causes terror. So you really do need to finish it off. 35 HP. Come on, you can do it. No, the Peasant Horsemen get terror routed and then routed normally. Iron Demon still being a menace, and thankfully, after one volley, look at that. Death to the formation over here, man. Just one shotgun blast into the formation just took a chunk, like they got into an apple, man. They bit into an apple. We see a pimp slap fight, a epic duel of fates between the two lords in the fight here. The Lord Magistrate against the Sorcerer Prophet of Metal. This Lord Magistrate has 0 armor piercing, so this guy is going to get absolutely clapped by our boy. But the boy is running, especially from a Celestial Lion assisting the actual Lord Magistrate. At this point, if you're going for a Celestial Lion, man, I don't know how much he costs, but since you're going for Celestial Lion and Lord Magistrate, like, does this guy actually do anything? No. He's just a cheap, shitty lord. Why not just go for a Celestial General on a Celestial Lion? He gets the, like, whirling ability thing that... What are these crowmen doing, man? Boogieing on up and down. What is happening here? This is like crows around a dead body, but they are just very indecisive in if they want to land or not. But yeah, I think just going for a Celestial General on a Celestial Lion and then getting the sweep ability on him, I think that is like a much better combination than the Lord Magistrate. Though, Grand Kate kind of seems to be turning it around at this point. Still 2k advantage for our Bird Boy, but there seems to be a bunch of just units on Grand Kate somehow getting onto the points. And Bird is kind of left with very little. He's summoning in some Hobgoblin sneaky gits. He is very much ahead on points. He is using magic pretty well, but so far we've seen Potatoes Devil really do a good job of dodging stuff. And there is now nothing on the field that can actually kill the Celestial Lion. The Celestial Lion is unironically going to be a carry piece in this game, which is very crazy to me. Oh, there's another Iron Demon out. Okay, this might then completely turn the game around. Never mind. I was wondering where like Bird's money went, because it so far there have been so many instances of just like I just didn't see any units. And if the Celestial Lion and Jade Lancers don't surround the Iron Demon, and it technically doesn't have the more power ability at that point, I think Bird loses. But if it gets surrounded, Bird loses. If it doesn't get surrounded, I think he's totally fine. The Graces of Kuan Yin are really, really strong here too, because they have such high armor piercing values. So as long as the Iron Demon just keeps like running around, it is going to be a good. He's going to be in a good place. Very smart of Bird to also bring one of the Castellans to stand on the objective over here, just to give him capture rate and put even more pressure. At this point, this is a triple cap situation. So I think Bird could hunker down on one of the objectives and potentially just win the game that way, because this objective seems to be completely lost to the amount of like pure Jade Lancers. And very nice Searing Doom again onto the baited blob here. This is good. This is great. And this is how you also use the Infernal Castellans, honestly. You put them on somewhere that they're super annoying on. You bait in stuff like Cav, and then the baited Cav go in, and then you put just a Vortex spell onto them to compromise them. And this is really, really bad for Potatoes Devil. It took him so long to capture this objective number 1 that right now he is in a bit of a pickle, and it needs to immediately go for objective number 2 with everything that he has. He needs to delay Bird getting onto his home point for as long as he can, because he has less than 200 seconds to win this game. Some great warriors would have done him quite well. Probably. Yeah, probably. He definitely though needed to compromise the Iron Hills a bit better. But I think he wanted to do that with the Hobgoblin Bolt Throwers, but didn't expect the double cannon basically to be there. I think the other cannon actually died, which is quite unfortunate here. But at this point, Bird needs to take the other Castellan and then bring him probably over here as well, just so that he can hold the objective for as long as he can, because this is a force that can come onto the objective. The problem with this force is that it's all ranged, man. Like, there is no capture rate that is not ranged. So something like just this shitty Hobgoblin Wolf Rider is going to stop all 3 units from shooting and potentially just compromising all of them. And with 2 Dwarf Warriors on this objective right now, there is very little chance that Potatoes Devil has, even with scrapping back in so much value. I don't think he just has the time to get onto the objective number 2 and stop Bird from winning the game. He did an awesome job in getting back into the game from the value deficit that he was in, but there is a really, really tough position here to get back from, especially now that Bird can just shit out Hobgoblin Wolf Riders, and those Wolf Riders just gonna scoot and shoot, as we see here. Hey, Ulrich. Other than this, I think it's pretty much over. Iron Demon, second summon. Oh no, this is a different Iron Demon. So he had 2 actually in his line over there. So at this point, I think it's pretty much over. Now I think Potatoes Devil realized that he is under really, really big time pressure and is just trying to force path through. But look at this blobbing here. This is so unfortunate. None of these Iron Hellgunners are going to be able to shoot properly, and the Iron Demon can just do another like pass, just turn around and go back in, and is going to absolutely destroy this blob here. Celestial Lion, unironically being a really good unit in this game. Come on. 900 value, that's terrible, honestly. I expected way more, especially because it was hunting the Iron Demon for such a long period of the game. But at this point, it's 10 seconds left. The second objective is kind of being threatened by a couple of Wolf Riders and stuff. And I think not even this Chain Lightning is going to be enough for this game, unfortunately. So congrats to Bird for his second win. That was a really good play. Let me just double check how the rest of the bracket is going. So this was one of the longer games, honestly. I think I will refrain from casting any replays between them, and then just go through another one of the games. Or No, actually, let's do a bunch of replays this round and then join in on the next round, actually, because that would be unfair to all of the people who are just submitting replays massively. So let's go through all of the replays this round, and then next round we'll join in on all of the people that are actually playing. So next up, we got Tobias versus Eat the Rich. So just open up. Okay, so we got Empire. We got Theodore the Giga Chad, Theodore Bruckner, the amazing Giga Chad unit. He is a good fighter. The only other person that I have ever seen take Theodore is basically Martin, but I think he likes him just because he's a terror source for some reason. Oh, he's on a demigryph, that's why he's a terror source. So this guy has basically Hunter of Champions, pretty much. The Titan Headsman, that's basically Hunter of Champions, so he can duel any type of SC. He is there to try to hunt down the Ice Witch and or the Incarnate Elemental, and this is very smart in the Hawklands being inside of the forest, trying to defend the backline from objective 3. So he is trying to secure one objective 100% and then move from there, because he was probably afraid of stuff like this, which is the double core of units, and also didn't want to go for the top side. Like, the bias didn't want to deploy here. Why? Because this is such an open field for little Grom to just scoot in and shoot at anything that approaches. So that is probably a very smart play. The problem here is that when he captures this objective 3, he needs to mega rotate his entire army to kind of face this front, and he's going to be fighting uphill too, which is very, very unfortunate for him, because fighting uphill, one major disadvantage, downhill charges are really good, and the entirety of the Kislevites roster is hybrid. So they're gonna have a great time just trying to hold the line like right here, and then shooting anything that tries to get onto the objective. Also, Hawkland's not really that good at shooting uphill, so he kind of did get his objective, which is what kind of he wanted for the objective 3. But the problem with that is now he's kind of screwed on the other objectives, or the underside of the objectives, which is a bit unfortunate. Horse archers just chilling here, screening out stuff like the Pistoliers, Knights of Black Rose, and let's see how this goes into the fight on the middle objective. It is kind of just posturing right now, so we can speed it up a bit, just until some of the fighting actually starts. Oh, so Hawklands can actually shoot uphill here. That is an interesting point. I did not expect them to properly have the ability to shoot uphill there. But if they can, yeah, if they can like do the shooting over here, this is great for the side of Empire. Then it is 100% the play to deploy on the bottom side and then just shoot up stuff like the armored Cossars and the Cossars that are uphill here. Knights of the Black Rose kind of getting over cocky and trying to surround the Ice Witch, which I don't think would work. Even if they got the surround, the Ice Witch is an anti-large fighter. She can just turn around and kill these units, especially with the support of so many like random units. If this Boydner's Brawlers just turns around, they are going to absolutely massacre this Knights of the Black Rose. Incarnate Elemental kind of going forward, fighting into spears. It's fine. I honestly think that the Empire player should have waited a bit longer before starting the engagement, because he has such a big advantage with the Hawklands. Like, the Kislevites player needs to move forward towards him to be able to do anything about it. And him, like, throwing the Incarnate Elemental Beast to the front, it's gonna get just absolutely massacred by the Hurricane Corps, the other Hawkland, and then just this random Pistolier. Though, he needs to be very careful in how he uses the Pistoliers, just because, as you can see, Griffin Legion trying to compromise them. On the other side, we see Kossovite Dervish going the long way around through the marsh to try and compromise these guys, which is a good play. And there needs to be some sort of summon from our Tobias to defend them, because if not, this like shitty 525 unit is going to be killing two of the most important units on the Empire roster right now. Griffin Legion being popped by our blood. So they're going to be dying soon. And very nice turnaround from the Hergi Jaeger Corps in stopping Kosovoite dervishes. Pistoliers also being here very near to defend them. And we do have the Knights of the Black Rose and another summon of Knights of the Black Rose being there to support them. Theodore Bruckner basically doing nothing this game as is tradition. But if he gets into the Boyden's Brawlers and these guys, oh no, unfortunately get a movement command or something to move them forward instead of actually shooting. Oh no, no, they're gonna get compromised here and do nothing. They're a shotgun unit, a really strong one. So if they do have line of sight, they're gonna absolutely massacre anything that they shoot into. But the boys are here. Let's go. Oh no, this is a bad boys are coming moment though. What a fucking overcast of overcast of overcast. What is happening here? This is all of the spells in one place. Jesus Christ, man. So we got the Oath Brothers of Thor casting their ability that blinds everything, the Call of Thor. Then we had a Hailstorm. Then we had a Final Transmutation, and we had the Searing Doom just before it. That was a crazy overcast of just about everything. But with the Oath Brothers of Thor here, Theodore can say goodbye to his little horse or his little hippogriff, and he is going to just die if the Oath Brothers of Thor stay there. Though this is a very good blob to just put Searing Dooms into, unfortunately for Kislev. So I don't know why they dipped, man. They should have not dipped. They could have killed both the Knights of the Black Rose and Theodore very easily. Just dip out if there is a Searing Doom. And now, 100% there is a Searing Doom. Like, this spell has a 30-second cooldown. It is going to start coming back. Herge Jaeger Corps, man, what a great unit. Like, 800, and these guys have 1,600. Now shooting into the Oath Brothers of Thor, massacring them. If Oath Brothers of Thor stays alive and technically just goes into the backs of these hippogriffs over here, they're gonna do great. But if they stay in range of the Herge Jaeger Corps, the Pistoliers, and the Hawklands, they can just die over time. Still, there isn't much that is going to be killing the Witch, and the Witch is a big terror source, but Empire did capture their second objective, so they can now start moving their state troopers onto it and slowly waddling forward, and they stopped the bleeding, which was the points lead. And now that still the Hawklands are uncompromised, have a free reign in shooting everything that is uphill, which I did not know that they could do. This is a bit over for our Kislevite player, and with 3.5k being the absolute difference of this, definitely not a great way to go out. So I think this is pretty much over for Eat the Rich. He did not eat the rich indeed, with the Empire basically taking him offline, but better luck next time, I guess. So this is definitely a matchup. Still, I think, yeah, if Empire just gets onto objective 3 here, I do expect our Kislevite player to tap out very soon. He just could not kill the Hawklands, man. Hawklands absolutely farmed him this game. Both of them getting, like, the other one got like 2 point something K value, and Theodore with some hippogriffs, or not hippogriffs, jeez, demigriffs, going on to also the Witch Tempest. Unfortunate. So what did he have? He just had Hawks of Miska. He definitely needed at least Hailstorm. Like, getting Hailstorm is kind of trolling. Especially with getting Snowflake Amulet, but not getting Hailstorm. You definitely should be taking Hailstorm because it's your Timu, what is it called? Timu Searing Doom at home, right? So, unfortunate. Just shanked the last game of cash. Okay, unfortunate. So, Herge Jaeger Corps, these guys absolutely carried this game. 900 and everything else. Gelt being the cheapest bullshit lord there ever was, getting 2.3k. Theodore even getting 1k. Everything here was basically cooked from the Hawklands from the start. And I honestly don't recommend just taking the Incarnate Elemental here. It's just not worth it, man. You definitely do need a Grom. And the Oath Brothers of Thor you do take, but you kind of want to flank overload Empire with just taking your massive huge dick cav. And yeah, also like taking horse archers this many probably not really needed. It was just a mismatch of an army, especially with the Incarnate Elemental, unfortunately. So we got this one. Let's get on to bird versus Chowi versus elves. So we always love a good massacre of elves. So I am not biased, trust me. But Fitter Happier has played wood elves here. And let me also download the rest of the replays. So while we're waiting. Okay, we got the rest of the replays. Nice. So we got our boy Bird, already who you already know, basically the host of this tournament. And today playing Chowi, and he's kind of doing the same build. Is this literally the same build? It literally is the same build that he just used, except it's a fire mage instead of I believe it was a metal mage. And then we have Glade Riders with Hagbane tips, a Spellweaver on an eagle. Damn, that's a really expensive lord for the woodies. Doombolt, Chillwind, really good spells. Wrath of the Wood, huh? Interesting. And for the rest of the army, we see basically double arrows of Kurnos with Waystalkers going for the snipe into. Really, you're targeting fucking hobgoblins. This is not worth it. This is definitely not worth it. Oh my god, what a... Oh no. Fuck that hobgoblin bolt thrower in particular, man. Like, spending 2 arrows of Kurnos, then going for a Chillwind, and these guys are just still standing with half of their models. Oh boy, this game is over. So dwarves at this point are gonna walk forward and basically compromise the glade guard here, and with also the bolt throwers just getting into range, there's kind of gonna start chipping away at the glade guard, which is my prediction for this game. This game is probably not going to last long. Should have potentially just gone into like the sorcerer prophet, but sorcerer like the waystalkers just don't. The arrows of Kurnus don't do that good into foot characters, so they should just start shooting into either the Castellan or the sorcerer prophet. Castellan is a huge Giga Chad with 120 armor though, so he is pretty difficult to take care of. But yeah, at this point we just see the Treekin getting peppered by the bolt throwers. So for some reason, Bird is completely not ignoring the Treekin, and we see a change in formation from the from the Fireglaves, turning about face and trying to get the Glade Riders. They are extremely slow with this line formation. They should be a box to just make them faster in the turn rate. But they do get like half of a volley off. This is so awkward, man. Look at them just changing, charging around, charging around. These Glade Riders definitely do want to get into the cookie jar of the bolt throwers, but it does seem to be the case that they are going to get into the hobgoblins. Nice Chillwind. That was a good Chillwind. Chillwind also knocks over most of the models. So if you're ever trying to compromise a unit like a Fireglaive, and you don't want them to, let's say, do a volley into you or something, you definitely should be casting the Chillwind on them. So these guys should definitely continue while they're already here. Just go into the other Hobgoblin Bolt Thrower and sacrifice their lives. And for the midline fighting, we just see a bunch of Dryads going into a bunch of Slaves. But with the advent of Kadai coming over here, Kadai are murderers of everything that is like melee from Wood Elves. They have fire damage, they have magic damage, everything that the Wood Elves hold dear to their hearts, which is physical resistance and also extra stats that they get for some reason, but mainly physical resistance, and like Kadai just absolutely dumpster on them. So as long as there's enough chaff to saturate, they could even fight back against the Wild Hunters of Kurnos, though they are a counter unit to them. So very good Fitter Happier, very good identifying of where to go with the Wild Hunters. The problem is Hagbane tips, man. Where are they? So like the Glade Guard, not Hagbane tips. So as you can see, Dwarf Warriors can just walk forward and get into your backline, and there's still Hobgoblin Bolt Throwers that are alive. And oh no, there was an unfortunate misjudgment from the Wood Elf Lord in getting compromised by the Infernal Fireglaves. Thankfully, they're the shittiest unit at the turn rate. Look at this garbage. So they're gonna take a while and probably not even kill the Lord. She rallies. That's crazy. But they're gonna get shoot at her finally and actually probably just kill her. Or she's gonna just run off the battlefield if she takes an unfortunate turn. So if the Wood Elf Lord just runs off the battlefield, I think that's a bit over. Yeah, she's dead. So now it's gonna start like being lights out for the rest of the army here. And the Wild Hunters of Kurnos are just in the worst fight here. Chaos Dwarf Warriors are absolutely great into them. But just not because they can like kill them, they just don't do anything into them, which is a bit unfortunate. And I have neglected my my chat. Sorry, guys. I just forgot to tab out. Yeah, just don't take the Incarnate Elemental in the previous game. And man, I feel like seeing 2 Waystalkers on my stream in over a year. Yes, because they are banned. And most of the time, they should be banned. But yeah, look at this. Pew, 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 pew. But they did absolutely nothing because of the formation. Treekin good versus Bull Sentis? No. They are not treating good versus anything. They technically are not. They okay. So hear me out. Firebark Elders. So this is the tech that Killian has brought to me, which was he took Firebark Elders into what was it? What were we playing? I was playing against Useful Toaster in some matchup that I had. Oh right, it was into Zinch. So he brought Firebark Elders that have they have an aura that basically gives I think like 20% or something fire resistance to everything near them. So he brought a full melee army. This was Wood Elves into Zinch. So he brought a full melee army. This game is also pretty much over, so I'll just speed it up. Full melee army into Zinch. And then he brought the Firebark Elders basically to give everything around them, which was like Wildwood Rangers, Dryads, and such, the fire resist aura, so that the way that it works is you're kind of immune, really like this, but you're kind of immune to pink fire, which is you probably take village into Wood Elves, so that basically means that you're kind of immune to that, and also stuff like, I don't know, pinks and blues, if there are any pinks and blues in that matchup. So that is like the only use case that I can find for stuff like the ROR Treekin. They're good at what they do. They just stand there, but standing there kind of isn't that good in this game. So unfortunately, they aren't that good. They just do no damage, man. Let's get on to the next one. Oh, no. So, Vampire counts into Lizardman. Pope Paddy into Botbot. Tree Heavy Army into Chorf seems like a bold choice. Yeah. Unfortunate. The Treekin are useful. Yeah, if you go into, I don't know, what also has a bunch of fire damage? Corn? Maybe. If you're trying to melee fight Corn and not kite them for some reason, you could potentially go into stuff like that, but I don't know, it's just not worth it. It's just not a good, yeah, it's just not good in general. So, Pope Paddy into Botbot. So we see a bunch of undead. Yeah, this is a classic Graveguard frontline with a couple of corpse cards and Capscrat with Heinrich Kemmler, who's pretty difficult for the lizards to deal with. And then you just have, for the Lizardman side, a bunch of Saurus with a couple of Skink Cohort Javelins. And there's a bunch more Skinks. Mexicans. Okay, I call them usually Mexicans because they say hola Skinks. Kind of makes sense to me. But yeah, I know that they're, I'm just memeing around. I know they're like Aztec Mesopotamian. And yeah. That line formation is hurting your eyes. I think line formation is totally fine here. Oh my god, what a burn. Is this a Wind of Death or something? Oh no, it was mistimed. It looked so good. It looked like it would delete. This is why you never cast spells on moving targets, mind you. Even like intermediate players can just get sometimes lucky and destroy them. And he wouldn't need to use the double Scab Scrat here or like one Scab Scrat here to delete these 3 skinks. But this is like instant loss. This looks like just an instant loss from the side of our Lizardman player here. Unfortunately, we got Mazda on his dinosaur with Ruination of Cities, which was used. That's why this Graveyard unit is just about dead. But man, Skinks and stuff and Saurus into just a Graveguard spam with Corpse card support and coming in with like some Crypt Cores here. As long as Heinrich, wherever he is, oh, there he is. As long as Heinrich kind of doesn't die here, I think he's just totally fine. And somehow Heinrich is chasing down Lord Mazdamundi here, and now he realizes he's like, oh no, I really shouldn't be chasing that fucking dinosaur, man. I need to go over here and farm my Chaos Doomblade and just give everything a blob. But this game is basically over, man. There's nothing that the Lizardmen can do. Like, this is a full, long-ass battle line of Graveguard supported by Spearmen fighting into their proper fights. And with the advent of Crypt Horrors now just coming in here, this is going to be impossible for the Lizards to deal with. But unless Heinrich kind of gets screwed here, he gets Arcane Unforged, which is a great spell into him. Because he's relatively low HP, and he can technically just cast an invocation on him and be totally fine here. But the Colostodon Hunters pop their Toad Rage. Unfortunately, they don't stay on their freaking targets here, which is unfortunate because they could have, if they didn't have that, they could have potentially killed Heinrich. And another Wind of Death. This is a beautiful one going down the line and then tickling some zombies, but you don't care about that. They're sacrificial anyway. That was beautiful. Down the line of a Saurus and a Skink cohort. And the Colostodon Hunters are getting a Apotheosis, which is very nice. But the rest of the fighting, how is it going? Is it already over? Maybe I've spoken too soon. Maybe spoken too soon, but with the Vargeist coming in to fight the Colostodons and charge them, this blob is just insanely strong, man. There's a Graveguard, double Graveguard, zombie, just a corpse card. Arcane Unforging onto Heinrich again. Going in, yeah, he undercasted Wind of Death, which is unfortunate. But I feel like he was very afraid of overcasting it just so that it doesn't miscast and instantly kill Heinrich. But he still dies to just the Arcane Unforging, or is going to be very close to dying to the Arcane Unforging. And he's gone. He probably is just going to shatter anyway from the damage taken. Oh, he lives with 15 HP, doesn't shatter for enemies routing encouraged by ally unit. Enemies routing actually carrying him here. Wow. Damn, like he's still staying at 29 freaking HP. If the damage sustained just dissipates a bit, he actually is going to live. Damn, that is crazy. Though still, there's a couple of Crypt Ghouls here. The Corpse card's still going strong. Both of the White Kings, I think, are also alive, or at least one of them. One of them is completely alive. And our boy just needs a flank secured right now. Come on. Where's the zombie to get his flank secured? Oh, no. Invocation. Cast on himself and flank secured. There we go. He is at 0. He lived at 0 freaking leadership. He is enemy routing still. He doesn't have his flank secured somehow. I don't know how. But yeah, there we go. Flank secured. He's still living crazy. We see a banishment onto Cairn Rates, which is a great play. Cairn Rates, like very few sources of magic damage on the Lizardman roster unless you bring Croxies. But I don't see any Oh, there's a... No, never mind. I thought it was the other cohort of Quattle. So, if you don't bring Croxies, you kind of can't deal with them. And they're scary, spooky ghosts with Terror, which the cheapest Terror that they kind of have. And oh no, he goes back in for some reason and takes the L. Goodbye, Heinrich. Damn, he really should have just kept him in the trees there just to facilitate a bunch of leadership for everything. But he might be sacrificing himself self tactically to get a resummon later in the game. And honestly, with that, with Heinrich dead, oh, the 2 White Kings are totally fine here. There wasn't a death on them. With him, Man of Vision, oversee final transmutation. Oh my god, yes. Overcasted final transmutation over here would be such money. That would be like 2.5k value easily. We see a Bastillodon Solar Engine. going... Oh my lord, did it kill like 3 models there? What the fuck? Yeah, it killed... damn it, I can't see from the thing. But yeah, it killed 1 model and then just penetrated the entire other blob. I technically can't see. You guys probably also can't see on my screen here. But I have the overlay thing from Discord on this side, so I can't see the capture weight or the model numbers for most of the units on the side. They really need to move it. But yeah, this blob, this is what undead are made for, man. Like blob fighting to infinity. Mazda, still doing strong, like just farming with 3k. And with Heinrich, yeah, Heinrich dead, he is making me eat my words. And this blob is actually probably going to be a Lizardman win, especially with them having this objective to the side. Uh, this is just a crazy, crazy, crazy fight here. And with the Solar Engine has the blinded debuff, man. And blinded shooting into a blob like this, just every single shot just gives minus 24 for all of the units in here. And in the end, it really did matter that Heinrich died, which he is back technically, but he is way too late in this. Oh, is this a possibility of one freaking Crypt Ghoul coming back and then beating all of the units on the side? Like, if this entire blob, undead blob, was just fighting on the actual fucking objective the entire time, it would have actually won him the game. But with the back objective not being dead right now, I think this is quite a problem. And there are more chaff coming in, and you can see the movement command going forward. But I don't know if they're going to get there in time, honestly. Heinrich recapturing the objective. Is Pope Paddy the GOAT, and he's going to get onto the objective and actually capture it? This is so much capture weight, with the corpse cart also being 4 capture weight each. Oh no! Are the Skinks going to lose in the last seconds of the game here with just an overcapture from Heinrich and his boys? Heinrich and his boys actually do get it. Crazy. He gets onto the objective and the skink tide is not enough. Very soon he's going to be in double cap territory. There's no way that Heinrich dies again. And now the entire undead army has arrived. They're not going to be like moving off this objective ever in a million years. And unfortunately that was a bit of a throw from BotBot there. Like, very well played to Pope Paddy in taking the objective back. Man, what a great game. What a absolutely great game. Good plays from both sides. Each side had the way... honestly, the cohort of Quattle should have been summoned way earlier if he had them already. And that one Colostodon unit, I don't think honestly cooked in this game. So it was quite unfortunate that that unit was probably more thrown. Lizardman, yeah, Metal Slan, or honestly, yeah, you can't bring a Fire Slan in this matchup, and you don't need a Fire Slan, honestly, because with a Metal Slan, you get the advent of both Banishment and Final Transmutation. But yeah, Mazda, nice idea to get him on a Dino, but it just did not cook. Saurus getting 1.2k, just grinding it out for the entire game. Oh, that was a Temple Guard unit. I did not notice that. 1600 on a Temple Guard is unheard of. Also, this was a double summon of Red Cresteds. Very nice stuff on the cold ones. But yeah, look at the Colostodons. This is probably the unit that lost in the game. And these guys not being here earlier, or again if they died during the game, was probably what lost them. And for Pope Paddy, just a tip is fight on the damn objectives, man. If you were on the objective number 1 for the entire game, you would have had this in the bag for like way earlier and not made it so close to even need to move on to the back objective. Nice game from both players. And yeah, let's get to the next one. So what was this one? This was the one. Let me just double check that the next round isn't up yet so that we don't miss something. Third round, I think we have time for one more replay. Let's do High Elves, Wood Elves, Kislev Tomb Kings. This is probably just a stomp. This is also probably just a stomp. Woody's High Elves is probably... So this is final boss. Oh, let's do a final boss game. I didn't realize he was in this tournament. Nice. We also swap back to our chat here. Yeah, with the advent, hello, useful toaster, my aspirant buddy and deadlock connoisseur, and let's get this show on the road. So, okay, so we got a bunch of high elves. Sea Helm. Sea Helm has the aura that gives everything charge, defense versus large. We also see a fire caster, just to cook the dirty elves. We don't know which elves are dirtier. And Sisters of Twilight basically shooting into everything over here. Very nice. Sisters of Twilight, probably a good a good unit in this matchup. I'm not sure. They're kind of expensive. They kind of pepper stuff, but honestly, with everything on the roster being silver shielded, I don't know if this is the play. This is a very difficult map for the High Elves, mind you, just because it's too long. If you move forward for so long, you need to get into basically the opponent's back objective. And with Wood Elves having move and shoot, they have just such a high amount of background that they can move back into and actually shoot into. Though, definitely the Ships Company is a good unit in this matchup now, just because it costs 400, and they have 400. Oh my god, that's disgusting. That side shots, worse than back shots, guys. Side shots, much worse. Going into the Ships Company, basically really good. But the Dryads, man, the Dryads will absolutely crush this entire front line. Look at that. Also a shot into the Silvering Guard. Oh, that doesn't feel good. Especially since you want them super shielded. Very good Burning Head. Amazing Burning Head. A pro tip for everybody intermediate level is that you don't want to cast fire magic onto the dirty Wood Elves backlines. You want to cast it on their front lines. Because if their front lines collapse, you can just walk forward into their backline. And most of the units that are shooting need time to actually get through, to actually accrued value. Like all ranged units require some time to get their value. So if you get through the front line quicker, you can get into the back line quicker. Unless you like have something like this. This is a beautiful double overcasted Burning Head opportunity. If the units are stacked, that would basically karate chop both of the Glade Guard over here. The other side, Sisters of Twilight kind of getting ignored. And there's just an infinite amount of silver shielded units that are moving forward. Also shooting into the Mage of Fire, pretty smart if she's not getting microed. She definitely should just kept getting like right click left, right click left, right, just so that she can boogie on over and not die to this. But now it's time for the Wood Elf Cav to start dominating stuff. If there isn't a caster that specializes in casting, oh, there's a double fire caster. I didn't realize this. That is so unfortunate, man. Seems to be a bit quiet. Low. Is it? Let me double check. Test. I think it's it's better now. It probably was my microphone just being a bit off or to the side. Is it better now? But yeah, I didn't realize there was a double firecaster, unfortunately. So unfortunately, one of them is dead, and they are relatively expensive now. Also, Sisters of Twilight doing a smart play here, trying to hunt down. This should have happened, honestly, earlier, just because there's no mass to stop them. The only mass was, like, the Silver Helms, so you're kind of screwed here with the Sisters bullying both of your Mages of Fire. Triple Glade Riders probably not going to do too much damage, honestly, with the shooting, but they can also cycle charge. They have 24 charge bonus. They have okay weapon strength and melee attack, and I think it's totally fine for them to actually go there. So even though it is a double cap for our high elves, I don't think it's going to be enough, especially look at the values here. So I think this is a bit over. Forest deployment on the side of this map can be pretty nasty with some Way Watchers, I reckon. HE doesn't have the Woodsman. Kevin, no. They don't have the Woodsman. They have their martial prowess. But it just isn't good enough. And this is, I think the way that you play is the end play style here. Honestly, into Wood Elves with your High Elves. You can technically do two styles. You can either go like match them in like infinity archers, so you can just outshoot them, or you can go for like Shadow Walker Kite, the same as they go for like Waywatcher Kite, and then just spam out your own cab. The problem is that you have cab disadvantage. Like their cab is so much better than your cab, and this map especially is really nasty because you can just move backwards. So over time, you're kind of gonna lose anyway, especially in on this map. Just Wild Riders, man. Wild Riders being silver shielded, getting insane charge bonus, getting 20% physical resistance. You don't have anything too special to go against them. It's a difficult matchup, honestly. I would consult Charix with how you play this. Playing versus without artillery on this map is pure misery. Yeah, like I've played even Skaven into Wood Elves on this map, and it's pure pain. Like Egg has done, I think, like 4 games into me with just going mass Glade Guard, like 12 stack of Glade Guard, and then just running at me and destroying me. What, Silver Helms beating them in a one-on-one? There's no way. They do have good stats, but there's no way that Silver Helms beat them. Like, what is this? Like 6.2k? Let's check the stats. They're better stats, but on the charge, they're relatively similar. I think it's just a Fizzres, man. Honestly, Fizzres plus Frenzy, I would say that they probably end up losing. And yeah, it is now a cav fight to the max in the end. So just a bunch of Silver Helms going around and a bunch of Wild Riders fighting them. Relatively close game too, which is crazy to me. But I guess that all of the shooting from Wood Elves just didn't have enough stuff to shoot at, just because Spearmen are garbage cheap. So are the Silver and Guard are more expensive. But Ship's Company were super expensive, and Sisters of Twilight honestly should have killed like both of these fire archers way earlier. Oh, round 4 is up. We definitely need to speed this game up. If I were a betting man, oh, that's a nasty burning head there. Unfortunate, just before she crashes as well. And then Glade Riders coming in. I think just the Wood Elves have superior cap, and that's gonna make their, if they properly fight on the objectives. Oh no, going into Silver in Guard. No, this is so unfortunate. Silver and Guard actually carrying this blob fight to the side over here. Even with the Sisters of Twilight, I don't think it's enough. But the Wood Elves now triple cap their opponent. And even if these units are going to be dying, like a couple of seconds on a triple cap is really important here. But it does seem that High Elves do win on one objective. And oh no, the Spellweaver gets compromised there. So unfortunate. With her dying, it is going to be a bit more difficult for the Wood Elves to get onto the objective. And we definitely need to move everything back onto the objective. Yeah, Wood Elves are kind of suiciding. Damn. I didn't think the High Elves had it in them, but they do end up just blob fighting to the end and actually winning here. Damn, crazy. I am really wondering how much the Silver Helm actually carried with just giving everything expert charge defense, or the charge defense versus large and melee defense. That was quite the unexpected win from them. 1.2k and 600, very nice. 1.2k also on the Sea Helm, which is very good. The Ship's Company and everything else just didn't do too much, and Silver and Guard were the carries. But I think this one was a resummon, and this one actually did very well. Silver Helms, very good show and performance. Oh, there were more Silver and Guard. Interesting. So this was like a complete counter to just cav spam in the back in the late game, which is good. And they have silver shields as well, Silver and Guard. So they kind of did really well. Unexpected, honestly. I did not expect the High Elves to eke it out over there. Let's check some lobbies and do a live game. Just give me a sec. Let's do a game between Risotto. We haven't done Risotto yet. So let me just find Risotto. And let's do one live one. Risotto. Spec. Boys that's going without a spotter lord is real ballsy. Yeah, that I do completely agree with you there, Tom. I never leave home without a spotter unit whenever I'm playing into either of those. Oh, whoops, wrong thing. Into either of those factions. I play Skaven. So I know the importance of a freaking spotter unit there. Which crazy. Crazy. They didn't either of them didn't go for the kite meta, but yeah. Gotta refresh. Let me actually refill my water. I'll also be right back in a sec. Gotta check them. Oh, my glass. And we're back. So, oh, this this sounds like an unfortunate game for Bretonia too. This sounds like pain for Bretonia. I hope our Pope Paddy is still here and will like hide his eyes when watching this game probably, because Vampire Coast is pretty nasty, man, especially on this map. This map has a really choky side that and like a big hill that kind of defends you here, but you can't archer spam. But what if they just go Celostra, man? What do you do then? Like just die? Like if she's very if this is a good player, and Riz is, I don't know how much he has played this though, like specifically the matchup here. But him taking double carronades, ooh, I don't honestly like this. Yeah, I know. I've I think one of the first tournaments that I won. Yeah, I think one of the first tournaments that I won, I played Azir from your clan into into this matchup specifically, Vampire Coast into Bretonia. And I believe I just absolutely crushed him with, oh yeah, there you go. Like double mortars start, especially on this map, again, very difficult to compromise. You have enough garbage shooting with the pistols to just pop those Pegasus Knights or whatever is flying around. You have Celostra that can now just stand in the trees over here and just chuck out Tide Calls for days and also do the summon, like the Ghost of the Past. I feel like this is an okay matchup. It can be difficult on like fully open maps just because you have nowhere to hide, but you kind of also have this foresty area here, and you're gonna be always playing just for two objectives, so it's difficult. Uh, Knights of the Lion-Hearted to kill summons. That's true. That's true. That's a good point for the killing of them. Use 4, just prevent yourself from being in opposition in the beginning. No, spotter units are just for spotting the first volley. So, Chimba, if you're playing like let's say Skaven and you have your assassin, same with if you're playing Dark Elves, if you have your Canid assassin that has stalk. So the stalk unit can just stand in front of your army and spot the opponent's units for stopping the first volley. And then you have your artillery or any type of like stuff like Hawklands or something similar to this. Just be the one that's shooting, either shooting first, or again, you can potentially get your first volley compared to them as well. Yeah, I can show you also how good, after this game, I'll actually showcase how good the assassin for Skaven is at spotting the freaking units of Shadow Walkers. It is crazy how good he is with the concealment bombs. They need to be like up his ass to actually be able to spot him, and he's just a menace himself as a actual unit. Yeah. Definitely can. Uh, in that matchup, like which we just saw, High Elves into Wood Elves, uh, if you're doing way stalker or deepwood scouts, way watchers or deepwood scouts, you just need to do side shots, because even if shields are like this, you can't block an arrow from the side of your head, so it's still gonna go into your head, right? And yeah, we see 3, 6, 7. Oh my God, 6, 7. So we see already all of the archers here, and we also see the Knights of the Lionhearted with the magic damage to compromise the summon. We also see Heaven's Caster. Heaven's Caster is great here just because you can just put the Wind Blasts on cooldown and just keep chucking them out. And we'll see how Riz uses the map. It's all about using the map properly. And I believe like just putting your cannons here, not cannons, the mortars of your army like to the side over here, I think you're gonna be totally fine. White Kings over 2 halberds? Into what? What is that question? Two White Kings are like the most insane unit in this game. Yeah, it's Capscrat. They are armored. They are single entities, so they don't lose capture weight ever. They are regenerating. I believe they're regenerating. I don't remember. But they're just an absolutely crazy unit. Also starting smart with 3 Scurvy Dogs here. Scurvy Dogs, insane, just because they can capture this objective right here and stop the bleeding. Because what is going to happen here? So our boy von Karstein, ironically playing the other faction, is going to move forward and going to capture these 2 objectives. And then he's going to post up with like the biggest concave of his life and then start shooting into the mortars and everything that is on the side of Risotto. Problem here is that Risotto has a difficult time getting onto objectives. So what is he going to do? He's smartly going to move on to the side objective and then force something to come over here. Even if it's Knights of the Lionhearted, this is 1 unit that has 4 capture rate. This is 3 units that each have 4 capture rate. So they're going to capture it, and then they're going to go on a merry-go-round, like running to each side, and then making sure that this unit never actually captures this objective until something else is also committed. This is a very terrible deployment zone on this map, so it is kind of garbage for like big armies like this, because you don't have this hill kind of prevents you from properly deploying your stuff. And yeah, for Riz, he's just gonna go for a basic line. Nice positioning of the mortars. You can just put them over here or just move them a bit more forward so they can both cover the bottom objective and kind of most of the top objective. And Karstein needs to kind of move like a concave like this. Yeah, unless a unit is moving, you basically can't miss a Scabscrat, by the way. Like, Scabscrat is just cracked. It is the best, the best thing at what it does. Vampire Counts Halberds, yeah, aren't the best units. Also, with 2 White Kings, you can have like them fighting into a blob of elite infantry as well, and they're gonna do just fine. Oh, we don't get Wind Blast? Why though? Interesting. So we don't get Wind Blast, we see Chain Lightning. Chain Lightning is there to take care of Depth Guard, but yeah, I wonder why he didn't take also Wind Blast. Also, he took Scroll of Shielding. Why did you take Scroll of Shielding, not freaking Wind Blast, man? Like, Wind Blast is kind of just there to clear out chaff. Let's say, like, you just overcast a Wind Blast into a Gunnery mob, and you're like, good. Like, why would you not do this? Very nice capture on the bottom objective and on the middle objective and going for the third objective. What is this guy, man? What are these 3 dogs are like giga chatting the entire thing right now. They're capturing and stemming so much of the bleeding from Risotto's start here. This is absolutely a great play. Windless, I have to turn it off. I'm gonna cry. Yeah, it is probably going to happen. What I was gonna say, which is Silostra standing on the hill here somewhere, chucking out just a bunch of Wind Blast, not Wind Blast, Tide Calls, and being totally fine. And if, for right now, Riz does a gremlin move with just summoning in another dog that goes over here, and that dog starts capturing the bottom objective too, like that is premium plays. Also, like you can technically dodge all of the mortar shots, but the advent of it, of not chevroning them, is that they're so inaccurate that you can't even dodge properly against them. So we're just gonna see like a bunch of shelling, and the archers are staying back. They don't want to be shelled. They're kind of expecting the undead to push forward, which is fair, but Riz is gonna play it smart. He has time. He's just gonna keep summoning in potentially some mass and some garbage. Yeah, like this. Just summoning in 2 halberd units to go for the bottom objective. What is the counter summon? Oh, Holy Wardens of Monte-Sol. This is a good summon, because nothing that the undead can summon that goes over there can actually beat them. So if they just stand on that objective for the entire game, they're gonna have a good time. Problem is that potentially just one mortar can turn around and start shelling them too. Archers still getting 0 value at this point. Scurvy dogs, if they go for a long haul move, which is what Risotto is doing, this is really good. It is quite unfortunate for me that I can't use the debug camera here and just look at everything like this. But yeah. Oh, what do we see? Scurvy dogs outmaneuvering the Knights of the Lionhearted and potentially getting into the archers. Archers shitting themselves instantly, running for the hills, trying to run into their own cav. And this is going to be a sacrifice for a Scurvy dog, but I don't think these archers are even going to die at this point. Scurvy dogs also going to the other side, still getting kind of shelled. But this is a big problem for von Karstein, though. Like, his entire frontline army is so disconnected from the archer support that everything that Riz just has is going to be dominating him. And this was actually the finals match between the two players from the previous tournament. So Risotto won the previous tournament with, what was it, Kislev, I think? Yeah, I think it was Kislev, into von Karstein's vampire counts over here. And it was also kind of a mental, pardon, a mental outplay from Risotto's part in just more game knowledge than von Karstein had. He told me after the game that he panicked, and that basically made him lose the game. Still, though, there isn't any type of summon from our Ghost of the Past lady. She is not singing yet. She is not dead yet either. So Tide Call probably going to absolutely wreck this whole part here. And what is the move command for? Okay, move command for is for killing all of the pistol mobs that are in the back. And now the archers are actually in there to actually shoot on them. The Knights of the Lionhearted immediately book it into the damn Knight's Errant, which is a great play. The fat lady is coming in for a fat one here. Oh, if she does a cast over here, oh, there she goes. Instantly compromising 3 freaking archers with just 1 Tide Call, and continuing in with the charges from the damn Knight's Errant. They also do have Terror. These guys will instantly Terror in like 2 seconds when these guys, there goes 1. This is going to be a mass chain route with all of the other peasants over here. And I see actually a big lack of 1 unit, which is the Grail Relic. Like, where's the Grail Relic, man? Where's the boy that's going to keep your army together over here? And Riz currently has a freaking triple cap, which is crazy. But that's because these, like, zombies have 5 capture rate for some reason. And if this one Knight's Errant were to just ignore the pistol mobs and go into the backline to compromise all 3 of the mortars, that would be such a strong play from Warren Karstein that would probably seal the game for him. But on the other side, we just see a bunch of fighting in the woods. Scurvy dogs getting chased by the Knights of the Lionhearted, and Riz is currently still, there's the Grail Relic, man. The Grail Relic really should have been a bit backwards here. Just so that he can support everything to not chain route and give them ITP. He gives them ITP, right? Peasant's Duty, come on, Grail Relic. Yeah, he gives them ITP. Oh, was it that? Yeah, he does. Icon of Devotion does give ITP. So he should have really been back here just to stop the damn Knight's Errant. Otherwise, like, Silostra is carrying this game right now with that summon and all the tide calls that she's doing. The midline is getting shelled. This one Knight's Errant somehow got freaking routed by Undead. Just spooky scary ghosts, I guess. And a Scurvy Dog coming in here definitely should not be chasing into the Holy Wards and should be chasing off the Knight's Errant over there. And just two zombies, man, standing on that objective, being Giga Chads, holding it down. We also see a debuff spell going over here, Curse of the Midnight. But there's nothing here to debuff, man. Like, this is just a waste. If he had Windstruck or Windblast, pardon, he could have cleared so much chaff. Also, not a single unit of like mounted yeoman or some random garbage going into the backline to compromise these three mortars is a travesty of a play from the side of our Bretonia player, unfortunately. And he definitely should have just been shitting out Cav, getting into the backline, casting his little wind blasts to compromise them, and then completely ignoring the Lamprey's Revenge, for example. But unfortunately, he is getting killed over time and just getting ground down. And finally, we see a mounted, one shitty 400 Cav gets into the backline and absolutely dumpsters three mortars here. So this could be a bit of a play to get back into the game, just because Undead are so slow. Definitely should get one of each unit, like one Mounted Yeoman, go over here. One Knight of the Lionheart should charge the dogs, one of the other Knights Errant should charge into the other Zombie Pirate Deckhand mob, just to make sure that all of them die and that they're compromised, especially the Scurvy Dogs, which are kind of the carries here. Also, Silostra finally getting compromised. What are these spells, man? Look at this. This is like 2 Wind Blasts, man, right? Yeah, this thing is 8, Overcast at 14. Wind Blast is like 6, right? Where's Wind Blast? 5, and Overcasted at like 7 or 8. Like, each of those could have been a Wind Blast that could have potentially killed the opponent. Still need Chain Lightning just for the Depth Guard, probably, right? But damn, if he just had Wind Blast, man, in this game, he would be in such a better position. At this point, Lamprey's Revenge is gonna completely hold this point right here. You need to dip and start going for the other two objectives. Like, you can't be having a depth guard with pole arms and a zombie deckhand mob just taking your objective 3 over here, especially from these guys. These guys ground out for the entire game. They just got 900 value. They were fighting dog shit. And we see Knights Errant kind of charging in, but problem here is these guys have 120 armor. Knights Errant have nothing in armor piercing, and however many units you send over here, it isn't going to change the fact that these guys have 60 melee defense and 120 armor, so they're not going to die. And especially with the advent of Riz just having the bottom objective here and having more garbage getting thrown onto the objective number 2, I think he's just going to win on points at this point. With also just mounted yeomen coming out, man, if those 3 mortars got compromised at like the mid game, like 3 minutes before when they got compromised, I think this is a clean Von Karstein win. Versus now, I think there's just too much capture weight for Vampire Coast, especially with Silostra still somehow being alive. Silostra should definitely be focused by Alberic, just so that she dies and gets like a massive debuff for everything. But now it's Depth Guard, man. Depth Guard are the problem. There's 2 Depth Guard here and a couple of bonus zombies that all have max capture weight. So there's nothing that's gonna move him from this objective. Especially, oh my god, look at the resummon, man. What is this? Why were you saving 3k value? Like 3k points. You needed these guys like 10 years ago. None of the archers cooked, man. 100 value, 94 value, 190 value, 80 value, 75 value, 44 value, and 1 Karstein taps out. This is, I think, just a pure outplay from Riz's part, which is very well played. And everything that that Von Karstein needed to do was still there. he just didn't do it fast enough. He played well. He just, like, Grail Relic should have been with the archers and with the backline. You don't want to go men-at-arms there. You're just gonna run two basic zombies, right? So you want something like Battle Pilgrims and or the other guys, what are they called, Foot Squires, to fight the proper way. Yeah, Britonia not the best, unfortunately. Also having no elite cav also to go through stuff, and you had the Green Knight. Why did you not summon the Green Knight out? What is this? Green Knight so good. Green Knight magic damage. Green Knight go kill Silostra in 3 hits, man. No, he had the Green Knight and didn't summon him out. Like, summoning out a couple of yeomen to go around. Oh, pardon me. I think I just moved the microphone a bit again by accident. Is it better now, Max? And yeah, damn, what an unfortunate thing with not summoning out the Green Knight and then just L-ing all of his archers with just 0 value. So unfortunate. Technically, the mortars also didn't get anything special. They just applied emotional damage more than the other thing, just because they did the leadership bombing for basically everything. We still got, this was one of the fastest games. What the hell? Okay, we're gonna do a couple of replays then. Let's watch the Tomb Kings into Kislev. I feel like this is a very Tomb Kings favored, but it might be just me. It depends on, oh no, it's Jade Tomb. Oh, then I think it might even be just Kislev favored with this. Unfortunate. Unfortunately, it's Jade freaking Tomb, man. With Jade Tomb, why this map is so tough is just because of the length, and you can just freely have double Grom and not be fully pushed. So let's see how this goes. Let's get through, let's say, like 2 replays as well now. So we see Druzhina and then just a bunch of armored Kossars moving forward. We see the Ushabti Greatbows being absolutely scared of everything, and then Catapult is being there. Catapult is going to get fucked by the Groms that are just moving into range there. And yeah, -1 model, -2 models, crew immediately running away, and then the Ushabti Greatbows coming kind of closer, like eking it out to try and compromise the rest of it. But it all depends on how fast the undead can get there and actually start fighting. But also with Grand Hierophant Katep, like Katep has Sandstorm, which is a good spell. Here, Usarians also for like stuff like Winged Lancers, Griffin Legion, and so on and so on. But man, this map is a really big disadvantage for a Tomb Kings player. I feel like, again, oh, next Hawks and Miska into Nekakaran Warriors and Spearmen. Also, a big problem with Tomb Kings is that they lack armor piercing, so they have a bit of a problem. But with stuff like Grand Hierophant, you can overthrow it if you bring the other spell, but he didn't bring it. So there's a spell, I don't remember which god it is, but one of the gods has like armor piercing. I think Jaffs is the name of the other one. Very good Sandstorm going into the Kossars, basically wrecking them here, and huge problem. I think Tomb Kings are gonna lose it just because of the little Groms over here. Like, they're absolutely dumpstering. Oh no, Katep is getting focused now. Chosen of the Gods basically doing nothing. The Catapult got instantly unsummoned too. And now we have the Ushabti unsummoned to compromise both the little Groms. The problem with the Ushabti summon is it's a limited time effect. Is that a new thing that got added? I never saw the exclamation mark ever previously. There's still a Streltsy over here, even ready to kind of kill them. And let's see if the undead can stuff back the Kislevites on this map. This map is just so difficult, man. I don't think just because of the map that that there is any chance that the Tomb Kings have in the long run. So Little Grom a bit obstructed. Ushabti kind of still hanging out. Like, they're being microed very well. And now it's there's a kitty summon, a War Sphinx, out in this economy with 2 little Groms still on the battlefield and with a Druzhina here too, that is a ballsy ass play. The problem is that the Kislevites are kind of losing their front line, which is a bit of a problem. Yeah, the exclamation mark, that is definitely new. Like, I never notice whenever there's a unit that kind of gets summoned, like the Ushabti gets summoned in your backfield. I just never see it. A bit of a problem for Kislevites is that they have no frontline right now, but they still do have enough firepower to kind of just keep clearing out most of the units that the undead are throwing here. And they're not in a super big rush. They are kind of in a rush, but not a super big one, with them still having their backline objective. And there's still a Kislevite warrior, a Streltsy very near. The Frost Maiden is right there. Druzhina is also moving over here to go into the Cimmerian War Sphinx. And yeah, everything seems to be going relatively well for the side of Kislev. Eat the Rich is definitely feasting today on the heathen kings of all times. Cimmerian War Sphinx also should be very much afraid of going out of the forest here, just because it's gonna be like instantly killed by a Streltsy shot, a Druzhina shot, and then like double Lilligrom. These guys, man, farming 1500, 500, and 700. The Chosen of the Gods did end up getting some value for themselves, just because they have also very big range with 255. So them shooting into the armored Kossars is a very nice play, but the little Groms still have like half of their ammo, being able to kill the Cimmerian War Sphinx, being able to potentially also kill Kotep, compromise the Chosen of the Gods, is just a nasty, nasty combination here. And with now a double cap from Kislev, there is no longer a big pressure point that the undead have over the Kislevites. So I think this is going to be like very, very difficult to take care of. Let me just double check that. Why is the map like? We see some salt in the chat from, not in this chat, in the intermediate chat. I'll read it a bit after. But yeah, still all of the undead skeleton horsemen kind of getting cleared over here, and even with taking back the objective, if Kotep dies, Catapult gets resummoned, Groms are still alive, they have no problems clearing out all of this stuff. I feel like Kislev will eventually eke out the win. It is just going to be a bit slow. Little Groms definitely need to kill the catapults though. And the crew is again running for their lives. 2 catapults already dead. And Kislevite does win the game in the end. Very well played to Eat the Rich, getting the dub in this map. Yeah, look at the 2.6k, 1.8k. Jesus Christ. Man, everybody loving the Oath Brothers of Thor too. Also, Streltsy doing relatively well. The Chosen of the Gods, like, you need to micro them a bit, but yeah, they did well. Everything else did totally fine, and Cimmerian War Sphinx was the big loser of this round. Let me just double check the bracket. There's just one more game over here, so we're gonna wait for this one, and let me recover my voice a bit. And there's a comment, why is the map like whirling in this tournament? Like, is this punishing ranged factions on purpose or something? Unfortunate. I mean, it is not punishing ranged factions. We just saw one of the ranged factions actually winning on that map. So kind of unfortunate, but it does seem that you do need to do a specific type of play. I'll skip this map because I'm sick of J2, so I'll download some of the other replays from one of the other rounds for the next one. But yeah, it does seem that it is a bit difficult to play on that map, but you kind of do need to properly micro on there. Like, it can be very difficult, as we just saw. Let me just double check. So Pope Patty and Potatoes Devil is the last game that's being played. Oh, next round is up. Let's check out, let's do a final boss live game. So let me just message him. Oh, wrong thing. Give spec slot and name of lobby, please. Let's support one of our boys from RTK to see how it goes. This is a final round. Final round before the top 4 and semis and the finals. So let's actually check out the current standings too while I wait for the lobby. So browser show. Okay, after a refresh, Bird seems to be dominating here. We need to kick the host from the tournament here soon, probably. Potatoes Devil, the next person that has the most with, oh my god, that's really, really good opponent points from most of the players here. That's interesting. Daceberg also being in the top 4 currently. Paramenion, I haven't seen this player at all previously. Let's check out his profile. Like, has he been playing for a bunch of time here? Oh, he just lost to Bird and Exit. Not really long for playing. Interesting. Haven't seen him before. Is that Von Karstein? No, Von Karstein is... Oh, no, unfortunate. He's been having some really tough matchups here from getting stuff. So, yeah. Oh. And besides that, we see Man Up. It's gonna be a tight top 4. This is like very, very close in all of the games. And let's say if Bird loses one game, then it's gonna be like 4-4. 1, 2. So it's gonna be actually be like maybe a tie between one of the players, but I think 5 rounds like guarantees that there is going to be a proper top 4 here. So Shem. We're jumping in, and it's gonna be another High Elf game. It's gonna be Lizards into High Elves. How does this one go? So you have overwhelming advantage with shooting here from the High Elf side. I feel like this is good for High Elves, like on a just instinct-based level. When I think of it, I think this is good for High Elves. You also have Fireborn, which are kind of have the defense. Oh, right. Wrong. Didn't change my screen. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. So for High Elves. Yeah, you got Sisters. Then Oceanids. Oceanids probably pretty good. Silver Helms. Mage of Shadows. Techless. All this sounds like pretty good. Silverin, probably good here. But I can imagine that Lizards just go max Javelins, 100%. Fireborn, default unit. Lion Chariot, pretty good. Surprising. Oh, double Ancient Sally. That is a good thing to do. Double Croxies. Croxies probably pretty good here. But Sisters of Avalon can absolutely destroy them. It really does depend on the engagements, especially with so much pointy sticks that High Elves can potentially bring. Also, stuff like Red Cresteds. Red Cresteds are great in this matchup just because they have such high armor piercing, and they also have Frenzy, so 36. Those Silver and Guard are really good at melee defense. This is like 42 before martial prowess. So this can, I think it can go both ways. I would potentially just give it a bit to the High Elves, just due to the amount of shooting that they can bring, right? All of the types of magic, then you have great shooting. Really depends on the casting from the side of Lizards. This is a great way to mitigate it, because your Toad can get sniped really easily. So going for something like a Red Crested Skin Chief, really good. Super cheap. Can also fight stuff like random cav, get a bunch of value. Skink priests also very, very cheap to take. Let me just remind the players to swap the map. This is Blazing Ramparts. It's gonna be the map. So, Blazing Ramparts. Interesting. Yeah, especially on Blazing. How much do these guys have? 160 range. I can see this going both ways, honestly. It really depends on the plays. Especially with their current armies. I think this can go both ways. Interesting to see a Saurus Scarvet as well. Willy Wonka in the reinforcements, goddamn. Saying that, basically putting the boy like right there. Damn. Colostodons are good here. If they pop Toad Rage and go on to the Fireborn or something like this, they can absolutely destroy them. They're super strong. How much bonus versus can we get them? No. Can't select them, man. Temple Guard? Damn. Temple Guard? Is there something that can take care of Temple Guard? No. Interesting. So Temple Guard only die to sisters if they come out. That is a interesting tech. See final boss ready. This is his locked-in army. The Talons of Torqualida are really good synergy with Sisters of Avalorn, just because sisters have fire damage and these guys give you fire weakness on shooting stuff. Also, if for some reason Teclis also brings something that is like that, you can also assist there. Or just a Mage of Shadows is a good play to take care of any of the to dominate the later parts of the game if there is like cav spam stuff. And this is going to be a bunch of micro from the Ancient Sallies trying to shoot into the Silvering Guard. Both sides can potentially win. It really will just come down to the plays, honestly. If I'm looking at these armies and I were to judge the game based on that. Let's also see which side they deploy to. I would assume that both sides deploy to their like ramp thing, just because both sides are technically playing the shooting style of each of the factions there. So I do expect them to try and get as much out of the range that they can. Like Sisters on a hill is just nasty, but so is Ancient Sallies. And Ancient Sallies, even though they're shooting, they can dip, dodge, dive, duck, because they're single entities. They're relatively fast too. Like let me check their speed actually. Yeah, 75 speed. That's pretty good for that type of unit. Yeah, sorry, just going back to chat. Oh, perfect. This map, also, for this map, I always hate this freaking river, man. It is so awkward to get over, and you don't realize how screwed you are when you're going over it. So, do be whenever you're playing this specific map, do be mindful that this is actually a river. So this actually gives the the one trait of all of the skinks, which is aquatic, man. They get +4 from the terrain compared to everybody else. So aquatic, showing how overpowered it is in this specific game here. Crazy. Extra 4 stats for the little skink boys because they're aquatic. And yeah, unfortunately, oh, Teclis and the boys are coming over to the side of the lizards. I don't know if I'm for this. I mean, I understand why he's doing this. He's doing this because he fucking hates the river. And the river is gonna, one, get minus on all of the stats that the high elves have, and is gonna make it so much more difficult to get over there to the actual point. And if he plays this side, he has the river advantage. But what are skinks? Skinks are aquatic, so they can actually stand on the objectives here. Also, Chameleon's Kings, on this map, you basically have a deployment zone that is like right here. So you can actually literally start on on the objectives with any type of Vanguard unit here. So yeah, he is taking advantage of that. Marinos is taking advantage of that with starting the Chameleon's Kings directly on one of the objectives. We see Final Boss starting with one of the Silver Helms to the sides to actually get onto the objective number 3. And we're off. Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen, and let's see. Well, no ladies in this chat, nor in my videos, but let's say gentlemen and gentle fathers and the gentle grandparents from the stats of the ages that people watch this game for. Also, Mage of Shadow first summon, interesting. So he immediately pops the Book of Hoeth and Starwood Staff here. To accrue more value, not more value, the more WOM, so that both Teclis can have more WOM and himself with just Malkot spam can have more WOM. I'm wondering if right now Final Boss is rethinking his decision to deploy on this side. He probably thought at least that this is a good side, but the problem is these... Oh, that's a net! Oh, I forget Teclis actually has a net. Goodbye, Ancient Salamander, man. Pew, pew, pew. He was a bit out of position with the rest of the units, but Ancient Salamander... Oh, that's a good volley. One more volley? Do we have one more volley? Is Marinos just spam right-clicking here? There they come! Move, boy, move! Oh, he does dodge the last volley. They were kind of inaccurate there, honestly. I think Final Boss could have just moved a bit forward and then started the shooting, because the range accuracy does fall off. The closer you are, the better accurate your shots are. And he technically didn't have the other Sisters of Avalorn in the range of this Ancient Salamander. Also, why the fuck do Ancient Salamanders not have fire resistance? Like, this guy is bathing in fire. And he definitely should have like 40% Fizz Res. Not Fizz Res, fire resistance. But Sisters of Avalorn still kind of bullying him. Like, he's getting like one shot at by them, but they're not gonna technically kill him, especially if he keeps moving. And as you can see, like, he can just dodge and dip. He lost 50 HP on that one volley. The rest of it just looking really good for the Lizard Boys. The Silver Helms getting kind of harried by the Colossal Hunters. And this is going to be a game where we're going to see most of the ammo from the Sisters actually being shown out. The only question is how much of the Ancient Salamanders are going to do the damage back onto the army of Final Boss. Like, with the last objective now being captured, now this turns on a time clock for Final Boss to actually move forward. If he doesn't move forward after, let's say, 600 or 700 tickets, there is a high probability of him losing there. And especially with the cheap combo of Skink Priest and Skink Chief, I don't know how he can move into this army. Like, this is super, super difficult. Sisters of Avalorn, I'm getting kind of late here. Sisters of Avalorn and the Talons of Torquilida basically shooting. Oh, this was a nice one. This is a net. This is a proper way, right? All 3 units shooting into the same one. This is the way that you kill the Salamanders, right? And then you can do the proper damage there. This is what he should have done for the first sally too. And this guy would have been dead if he did so. And do they snipe him? Oh, 1k. He's going to come back probably. Like, minus 14, flank secured. He's going to stop the under missile fire, and damage sustained is probably going to run out. Yeah, this is a really long map. He's probably going to come back. Other guy coming in here, trying to compromise the Sisters, applying flammable. Totally fine. I don't think the Sisters kind of care on this matchup, honestly. And the Sisters are turning around into the Colossal Hunters. Again, totally fine. I think the Sisters can, and the Towns of Torquilida can start basically shooting into the Red Crested Skinks. Honestly, they should not be this far forward, just because they don't have any sort of shields or any sort of mitigation here. So definitely should be there. Also, there's no mass on this right flank, except these Croxies. So this is a really good charge from the Lion Chariots of Crace. going basically forward and through one of the lines of the skinks. So now final boss is pulling the trigger, going forward. Very nice focus fire into the red cresteds. The sisters need to start focusing down the Croxigors when they stop moving. And damn, our boy, little red crested boy, is absolutely clapping this chariot, especially now with the Croxigors being there. Oh no, is there no guard mode? Guard mode, what are you doing, final boss? Why do you not have guard mode on? No. He does not have guard mode on, and so he is chasing the ancient salamander. He does catch him with the silver hems, thankfully, to stop the salamander from going back and from the sisters of actually going in there. But look at the sisters' position. This isn't an ideal position when it comes to like their movement. The Colostodon hunters get killed on the approach, getting 0 value. That is so unfortunate. That is a 1.2k unit just down, or 1.4k unit just down the drain. And reforming. Oh, that's a Comet of Casadora? Damn, I didn't think I saw the spell. I thought I saw just oh, that's Comet. I thought it was Chain Lightning, honestly. I missed that completely. And Comet destroying the Talons, but they still hold, man. They say, we don't give a shit. And now are shooting into the proper units of the Croxigors. If the Croxigors fall, this is very difficult. But it's still a triple cap situation, and it is going to be a triple cap situation for the end of the game. Oh, is it? It's 750. Ooh, it might be double cap still, but the Lizardman holds number 1. So there needs to be something that can... Yeah, very nice summon on Rangers on the far side to go over there. Teclis still casting out his little Flocks of Doom, which is very nice. And the Fireborn are finally out and going into the Croxigors over here. Damn, Croxy is also being peppered by both the Talons of Torquelida as well as another Sisters unit. And as you can see, this Sisters unit just went in too far, man. And damn, here comes another Comet destroying the Sisters. But the Sisters hold in leadership. 82 leadership, basically saying nope, we are still here, we're still gonna fight this one out. And this is a huge problem for boss though. Like, he needs to get on this objective ASAP and capture it, and the same with the far side objective. If there is just like a skink shitty tide over here that is going to start running over here, that objective is going to be held. Saurus Carvet coming out, going into the Illyrian Reavers, that's totally fine. And finally, final boss says, like, stop molesting me here, and I'm going to capture this one objective. If there wasn't such a huge chain route here from Marios, I would say that he could potentially hunker down on the other 2 objectives. This Colostodon Hunter coming back is really clutch, because they're gonna kind of bully these Rangers a bit before the Silver Helms get over there. But man, was there nothing to compromise the Sisters and the Talons of Torquelida, unfortunately. So they just ended up carrying the game completely. And the Comets just weren't enough. Like, Comets were great. They killed half the unit of each of these. Like, as you can see, there's still high amount of models in each of these. And the Comets weren't even dodged, man. And Silverengard also getting clapped. This little guy is summoning the Wrath of the Gods onto the High Elves, man. Like, he's just destroying them. And now an overwhelming force has rotated towards both of the other objectives. And I think this game is over. Final boss does have this game very methodically played. The only misplay that I saw from final boss was the misplay of the start, not having both Sisters and the Talons of Torquelida be able to snipe the first salamander, right? Everything else, this was a prime example of why this matchup is probably really bad for Lizards. I don't see, especially with the advent of like Oceanids being added to the roster, I don't see how Lizzies can have a fun time with like Oceanids having basically 20%, 20%, and 30%. This is like 70% fizz res, basically resistance to something like salamanders, man. Like, they just take no damage from them. And also having like no javelins either. to just shoot into stuff, I feel like is definitely a mistake. But again, I think this is just a very, very difficult matchup for the Lizards. They're going to take one objective back, but the other two are so heavily secured at this point that there is going to be a cavalry rotation towards just number one here. And if Teclis doesn't like randomly die here, and even if he does, they're still Fireborn, completely alive, completely in the backline, bullying everything here. So really, really good plays from Final Boss over here in the last round. And yeah, let's check out some other. So this is Kislev into Grand Cathay. I think we've seen that. Kislev into Grand Cathay. What does that matchup look like? Just a bunch of shooting? Just a bunch of, what is it called? Cannons fighting little Groms or something? Yeah. So, this game, as we can see now, prioritizing smartly to move even the ranged units onto the objective here to just stop the onslaught of skinks. Very nice combat, but again, combat just not being enough. And all three of these units, 1k on the Talons, 1.6k on the Sisters, 2.2k on the other Sisters. Insane value. And I'm really wondering what this King Chief did. King Chief, yeah, paid for himself. Like, he did totally fine. Problem is everything else, man. Like, not compromising the rest of it is just, like, look at how much shooting is still alive. And all of these units still have some ammo left. So, it is just a cleanup crew at this point. I want to stay in for this just so that we can check out the values at the end. I mean, I can also just check them out right now. So Teclis, nothing too special, but yeah, he just casted Sword of Teclis and then spammed blocks and nets. Like, net was the MVP there, and as we said, like the first net, a bit of a swing and a miss, the rest of them just being super good. Let's just screen the value for a bit and then get through it and through the rest of them. We also check the... Am I lagging? Nope, no frames dropped. That's awesome. Sisters 2.2k, 1.6, 1.k. Everything is just holding totally fine. Everything be, oh my god, 3.4k on the freaking Fireborn also. Such an unfortunate turn of events. And yeah, everything was pretty okay. The Salamanders didn't cook, which is unfortunate. Kind of due to the map, but also due to the just net casting there, which is very nice. And yeah, let me just check that we don't miss the top four. We got time for one replay before the top four. So let's do one of the ones that I got. Oh, I didn't load them in. One sec. Download. Let's do a Greenskins game. Greenskins sounds fun at this point. Kislev versus Grand Cathay. Greenskins versus Empire. Oh, this is... Oh my god, a land ship. We need to watch this replay. This is Tobias going boat maxing. Of course. Shout out to Scrambled Egg Special in boat maxing, man. Boat maxing is a great sport. You guys definitely should try it. It is such a fun type of build that, yeah, I just completely recommend it. Like, you go Master Engineer in his tank, you go Boat Max. You don't need the ROR, it really isn't worth it. And then you go a classic Royal Altdorf Griffites. And then you just walk forward. Also with the Jade Wizard, when having Regrowth and Earthblood, basically to spam healing. And you just go Zug Zug. A bunch of goblins. Goblins aren't gonna do anything in this matchup, especially into this game specifically. They're just gonna get absolutely bullied by the mobility and even caught here. So we see Azag, and I think Daceberg is struck with what to do here. Like, he needs to just capture. Yeah, nice. Oh, he has a flank too. Okay, this is smart. He had 2 Night Goblin war bosses, big bosses, with quick thinking that he had a potential in the back to have some artillery, something like let's say a Sunmaker or something. Very nice catch on the Royal Altdorfs. Like, they really should not be losing models. So I would pop immediately a regrowth on them, not just an Earthblood. Like, they need to be regrowth, especially after a Buna being cast on them. Like, Azag is pumping with $800 Buna right there. Thankfully, none of the models are actually dead. So if they get a regrowth, they're going to be full HP by the end. The other, like Knights of the Black Rose, just fighting all of this flank. These two big bosses definitely need to rotate. Are they on foot? Oh, they're on foot. That's unfortunate. They are not on their squigs. Those squigs, I think, give them armor piercing, which is a bit unfortunate that they don't have it here. But smartly, Daceberg is not moving forward too much to give the Empire player too much value here. He's just going like Morgrubs. Morgrubs is amazing into this army. But there's just the infinity shooting here. And no, not Earthblood. Just cast. Don't be cheap, man. Tobias, you really need to cast just a regrowth on these guys. Don't be freaking cheap. If you're already taking the caster with having regrowth, you do need to just put regrowth on these guys. Right? It's such a longer spell. It's so much more worth casting it onto something like the Royal Altar of Griffites. Because otherwise, next time Azag, wherever he is, over here, next time Azag comes in, this Buna is gonna hurt these guys. And that's gonna be like a karate chop completely to the end. Having Ruglets here, also very good. Just shooting in here and yeah, just keeping everything away. Though the tanks have omnidirectional shielding, so they have like 70 in the front, 35 in the sides, and 7% in the rear. So they can just stand here and just keep shooting. Morgrubs also being really good because they can farm value here. And smartly, Tobias starts rotating to the side because he sees that he can't win the frontline fighting here. And finally, oh no, still not casting regrowth here is really a misplay. Like him now losing 14 of the models from the Royal Altdorfs is really big. And now smartly again, Daceberg sees that he can move forward because the entire death blob went to the side and is kind of like wrecking him on this side here. He needs to play this on objectives, which is very smart, and he needs to stall out the objectives as much as he can. From Tobias' side, Tobias definitely needs to move his landship way more. Like, he needs to be cycle charging through the Orc Boys, through the Orc Boy Spears, through the other Orc Boys. He's just losing his landship to nothing just because, like, 2-foot characters are hitting it and it's standing still because it has, like, 19 melee defense. If you're gonna be playing this type of build, you really need to be on top of your cycle charging. Nice spellcast of Spirit Leech also onto the landship just to compromise it, and probably the 2 goblin war bosses will actually get through it. So if we just speed this up, it looks like that both maxing did not indeed work. There was a restock, but still, like, being cheap on your spells with your Jade Wizard and not actually casting your regrowth properly is what is costing, honestly, Tobias here the game, and not also cycle charging. Probably can't really kill the Master Engineer unless Tusk Mob gets onto him. Then they probably can actually die. But the rest of it, I don't think can actually compromise him. And this is going to be just a victory on points, if anything else. Like, there's a bunch of value technically on Daceberg over here, but that value is just fake value, fake news, because of all of the damage that was done onto both the landship and healed, onto the royals and healed, and so on and so on. Yeah, let's see if the royals can actually eke it out. So Night Goblin Big Boss coming back here onto the objective, kind of threatening it also. There's still play for Empire here, honestly. Like, Azek, like, scratching his balls over in the corner over there really isn't helping. Like, he's a terror source, and you should definitely be using him to compromise stuff like the engineer. The Bunas, though, are kind of carrying this game, and now also killing the Jade Wizard. He could have potentially even killed the Jade Wizard previously. Savage Orc Arrow Boys kind of being annoying here, and now with the squigs and the little boy coming back over here, that can also threaten the other objective. but there's just nothing that can capture this number 3 in time. There's just too much tar pitting, and with coming in with just the cheap stuff onto the Royal Altars, even though the Royal Altars will probably clear most of the units over there, it just isn't enough onto objectives to actually win there. So, very well played today's perk. Getting the... Oh, as I got resummoned? Yeah, it made sense because he was full HP, but still, he was kind of in the corner for no reason. Then he threw Azeg, unfortunately. Landship was the main loser here. Like, if the Landship was properly microed with cycle charging, I know how annoying it is. I played into Martin a bunch of times where he did like this boat maxing thing. This is like his preferred build. And whenever you go landship, you really need to be on top of your like cycle charging. Like the Master Engineer also has the pigeon bomb thing that helps, and you really need to not cheapen out on your spells. You have to cast regrowth. If you see that Buna is wrecking your main carry, supporting carry piece unit like the demis, you really need to cast your regrowth on it. The build is solid. It's totally fine to play it like this, but there was just a small number of misplays from the side of Tobias in the effectiveness of how the build works. But the more he plays it, I think the more he will understand how it actually plays. So it's gonna get just better from here. Let me just double check the bracket. Yep, we have a winner. I mean, we have top 4 at this point. So let me just double check that and show you guys what is the top 4. Show browser. This is like a jump scare every time that I like reloaded. So top 4 is gonna be Bird. The only person winning 5 games, truly showing that his is really a dominant performance. Then Paramenion. I don't know who this player is. I want to watch this player. And then we have Manoft. Very nice, very nice. And then Potatoes Devil with just eking out the opponent points, probably fighting against a Bird in at least one of the matchups. Very nice. So let's give it a sec and wait for the opponents to set up the games. And for Bird to set up the top 4. Ryan's driver the other day. Landship as well. It's spreading. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely one of the RTK builds that is really good and understandable. Like just boat maxing, the way it's all in the way that you play it. Like you really need to play it in a specific way and understand how you need to cycle charge and move. Otherwise, if you just play it super statically, it is not as good as others can be. Like if you just went, but it's super difficult. The matchup is like completely garbage. If you're thinking about playing like greenskins into Empire or Empire into greenskins, like Empire is really tough to beat greenskins on. They have better cav, they have better front line. They can shut down your grenade launchers, which is your main carry piece. They can get into your cookie jar in the back relatively easily. If it's a full open map, they can just go and walk forward at you, and you don't have potentially you just don't have magic damage, and they walk forward with a bunch of savage orcs too. It's just difficult. It's just a tough matchup. Into Slanesh. Ooh, that is definitely not it. So that was just probably experimenting. Congrats for making it all 4. Thanks for playing. To give advice. Yep. Hope to see you guys. Thank you everybody for playing. And yeah, let's see the top 4 players. And yep. I will Paramenion. We want to see Paramenion. Is it Bird against Paramenion? Just let me double check here. if it's bird against them. Yeah, it's bird against Paramenion, so we already know the drill. It's bird house. Gonna watch this one. So it's gonna be bird into Paramenion. Since it's like the semifinals, I will not show the armies. But yeah, otherwise we're kind of good. I don't know what Paramenion has been playing. Have we casted a game of him? I don't remember. Let's check the Discord thing. I don't remember if I casted a game of him today. Let me just check the Discord and what he actually... what was his faction? So he did High Elves too. Interesting. So he just, I think, skipped all of his games somehow, like maneuvered around. Is anyone playing Dark Elves tonight? No. Unfortunately, or let me double check. But I have not seen a Dark Elf today. Tomb Kings, Greenskins, Bretonia, Greenskins, Vampire Counts, Vampire Coast, High Elves, Kislev, Chowi. There was an attempt at Ogres, but Gondola got kicked, I think. There was Ponty who was playing Dark Elves, actually. But how did we skip every single Ponty game? That's crazy. Did he actually play in the tournament? I don't remember seeing him in... Oh, he actually did play. Damn, I just missed Ponty. That's crazy also to be missing Ponty. Ponty is such a fun player to spectate because you know that he's gonna bring some weird shit into you every single time. And yeah, there's a like I wonder what his win rate right now is on the freaking leaderboard. Let me actually check. This guy is crazy. This guy plays the most out of anybody in the entire scene and is constantly getting like 30% win rate. So let me just find them. Ponty. So Ponty has currently a 40% win rate. Nice. He has improved. Previous 2 seasons, I think he never got over like 35% win rate. And the guy is absolutely crazy. I think he has the most games played out of anyone. Yeah, look at this. Guy's crazy. So even last season, he had the most games played. But he has like 120 tournament games. And this is not counting Anticities tournaments, mind you. So he has the most games played out of basically anybody currently in this season as well. He was the only person that had more games played in the, like, not previous season, but maybe the one before it. Was this one the one that I had infinity games? Yeah. This is the one that I had like 300 games. And like nobody has 300 games, right? Like even the top, even Danny can 200, less than 200. I have freaking 300 here. And then it's Ponty that has fucking 400. It has 100 games more than me, and I am the first person under him. I have 300. He freaking has 400. The guy didn't freaking lose a didn't skip a single tournament that it was in. Same thing here. I had like what 270 games, and then Ponty has freaking over 430 fucking games. The mad lad, man. Insane amount of games that he's playing. Like, that is such a funny stat to me. With how many freaking games. The guy just spams out millions of games. But yeah, let's get back to this. So it's gonna be Chaos Dwarves versus High Elves. So when it comes to Chaos Dwarves, into High. So, how do you play this matchup? You have overwhelming stuff with the artillery, right? So, is a Hell Cannon just good? Yeah, that was also like in that one season, I had the most games after Ponty. So, and for most of those games, I was playing freaking Skaven, man. Like I played at least 100 games of Skaven in that season alone when Dust infected me with the Skaven Warpstone addiction. So the rest of it was, I don't know, like a mix of a bunch of the other factions. Also, the season previous to that one was the season that I started playing the game, actually, which was the season I also had like 300 and something games that we just looked at, which is fun. But I kind of ground out a gazillion freaking games on tournaments just so that I can learn the game. It was very fun. Like I'm still here. I started creating fucking content out of it, so it is definitely a fun game and worth playing. But thinking about back to the matchup, kind of. So this is a pretty open map. I am wondering how Paramenion is going, if he's going to go the probably the proper game in playing against Chaos Dwarfs on this matchup, which is on this map you just go into the forest, man. You hide in the trees and you surround your opponent, and then they're kind of screwed when you get out because they're probably doing something with getting value from like ranged units, right? With either a death streak, I would honestly go for a potentially a hell cannon here, because I don't know, if I'm high elves, I probably don't think my opponent is going to go for a hell cannon, so I don't bring Uranians or what is it, Soul Quench or something like that. And so you kind of get screwed by a hell cannon completely. You think you barely had 100 games in your most active season? It's only so many I can tolerate. Yeah, I mean, I was in that season. I was hosting every Saturday. I was playing every single tournament during the week, or just about every single tournament during the week. Probably like skipping 2 days. So I was just learning the game. It was quite fun. But yeah, definitely needed to take a step back. That is also the reason that in the previous like 2 seasons, I have over 600 games. So I have like 650 games in the past 5 months, which is what made me kind of burn out of playing. So now I'm just chilling, doing some single player games, playing in a couple of the tournaments every so and so, and then just doing casting and yeah, doing strategy basically mostly. But definitely excited to come back for it. I just need a trigger, man. I just need a new trigger for the tournament scene to be in. The Warhammer League is definitely a big proponent of it. Like it is very fun to host and see all of the games that the people are doing, especially the ones that are so high level. So yeah, that is definitely something that I'm looking forward to seeing most. And I hope that not all of my replays from Warhammer League 4 are fucked by CA updating the patch. I need to re-download them just a bit later and retest. But as of now, all of the stuff there is absolutely fucked. I need to offer me money. That is what I am here for. You have a prize pool over there, so get to it. You can buy your if you win one of them, and you can buy your Age of Empires 2 DLC when it comes for free, right? So for the armies, we have White Lions of Crace. Man, this army insta loses to a Hell Cannon. What is this? Like Shadow Walkers, Techless. Yeah, Techless doesn't have anything that can shut down a Hell Cannon. White Lions absolutely get wrecked by a Hell Cannon. And for the side of Bird here, we see Demon Smith of Hashut. Very good. So Flames of Asgore, gonna be totally fine here. Especially considering our boy went full on elite. There isn't any sort of spotter unit here, which is unfortunate. There should be something like a Castellan maybe to just walk forward. Interesting that he went for Zatan. Zatan? Zatan has the best net in the game. Where is it? So Sadistic Snare, 33-second duration. Netted. Needs to be close to you. That's the main downside. It needs to be 20 meters in range. But yeah, I don't know how this army deals with Shadow Walker Kite. I honestly don't know. This looks like a very big army advantage for the side of our high elf player, and also for having none of artillery pieces. I'm wondering what Bird's summons are, because he really does need something to shut down both the elite stuff, and one Fireborn ain't gonna do it. Hashut can probably try, but realistically can't even do it either. Magma Cannon, that's a good summon. That is a good summon. Okay, so Magma Cannon, but he just needs a spotter unit now, and he doesn't have anything. Anything is there. Overpriced ones, at least last 2-3 ones are 25. Yeah, $25 is really a lot, honestly, for like a DLC. I don't know how good. I mean, I never play single player in that game. I only played multiplayer. And yeah, I usually do like either nomad games or I do just one-on-ones, which is very fun. Why are you shooting at Techless? Move, cannon, cannon. Okay, good. Now shooting into Shadow Walkers. But Age of Empires is really fun. Do you play multiplayer or just spam out campaigns? Because I saw you go into the game a couple of times, and I really am wondering which like a game mode are you doing? Because oh, it's such a good game, but my life, oh, this is gonna be a good dodge. Or are they gonna fall down too fast? No, Shadow Walkers are super speedy, 40 speed, easy dodge from the Shadow Walkers. But moving forward into the Magma Cannon. Magma Cannon getting the shot that the Flames of Asgore actually wanted to get. So really, really good shot into them. Also, Demon Smith kind of wrecking the Shadow Walkers too. Like he has some range. If he just starts shooting into the stuff, is very, very good. Where I did plenty of games. Mechabellum, because I wanted to get up from Mass Rank, and it's Season 2 old now. Mechabellum also seemed quite fun. I just... Those types of auto chess games, or like semi-auto chess, I would say, games, just don't appeal to me because they can so easily be just changed in a second. And honestly, the only reason I didn't like Mechabellum as much is I don't like mechs. So like the mech stuff just doesn't appeal to me as much compared to let's say the old sword and board or magic stuff and so on. Like stuff like, let's say, oh, this is an amazing convocation. Dodge, no. That is a really good convocation, unfortunately. So this unit kind of got wrecked, but considering convocation is so terrible, it still is absolutely fine. And also, I think the fire resistance is what kept them alive, or they would have been like at 30% potentially HP. Nice cast of a chain lightning into them. Bird really needs to step up his dodging game, or he's potentially going to lose. Yeah, Bird also did a very good move, which was land Zatan onto the Company of Kalandarin, to basically have them not get shot at by all the Shadow Walkers. And Magma Cannon, man, still just eking out value, 1k value out already. So really, really nice shots into it. The problem is the mainline fighting is kind of favoring the High Elves. But over time, I feel like the Magma Cannon and also these two like tactical reserves that he just forgot about of the Chaos Dwarf Warriors on the side are going to be coming in and helping out most of the line fighting here. He just needs to not lose his own Kadai, and yeah, he really needs these two Dwarf Warriors to just saturate into the White Lions, even if they're not gonna do like the best into them. They just need bodies because these two units are just stuck on a unit that is absolutely destroying them. While the Kadai Fireborn, which do need the support, are kind of left alone here. Very nice shots from Magma Cannon. Magma Cannon absolutely carrying this game. With if it also routes this specific Shadow Walker here, it is so good, so good. Zatan and Illyrian Reavers. Illyrian Reavers being absolute garbage here just because they have 0 armor piercing. And Teclis getting terror routed here and then chain routed into normal. God damn. No, please. Come back, Teclis. We need you in this matchup, especially with Chain Lightning. I didn't see what killed him. Probably just the Fire Glaives, just shooting into him. And then Hobgoblins also tar pitting the Silverhelm. Silverhelms are amazing here against these this type of unit. This type of unit doesn't have a lot of armor piercing. It's pretty good on the charge, but after that it just limps out. These guys have 100 armor, as we said, really good charge bonus. And then Zatan kind of bullying the front here. As long as Zatan... Oh no, Fireborn getting into the Shadow Walkers now. That is going to spell doom for the rest of it. And yeah, artillery pieces like the Magma Cannon, like the Hell Cannon, really need a specific type of counter that you need to bring as High Elves to be able to win a game into them, especially on such a map that is as open as this. My suggestion would be just to go to the side. If you're already going to play this type of army, you need to utilize the map properly, which means that you want to go through the woods, and then Magma Cannon can't shoot into the woods properly, or at least some of the shots will get blocked by it. Very good Chain Lightnings. This is really good from the side of Parmenion. I haven't seen him previously before, so really, really good plays from him. But Teclis dies. Bird is victorious in this game, and yeah, it just wasn't enough. Fireborn coming out, but what are Fireborn gonna do into a unit that has 13 Fizz Res and 35 Fire Resistance, man? They're gonna fight him just because they have bonus versus large and armor piercing. But if there's like a, what is it, a Hashut spell? What's the Hashut spell? Flames of Asgore, like right here onto the Fireborn. They're absolutely... Oh no, is this a net into a Hashut spell? Let's go, come on, give me a cinematic shot of just Flames of Asgore, man. Or he just used the Sadistic Snare for the debuff, unfortunately. We're not going to get a proper Flames of Asgore here, unfortunately. Yeah, Fire at Will on Walkers also isn't the play, and I think this is pretty much over. I used to play multiplayer before, but now it's just campaigns. I was at 1000 Lilo. Climbing, big problem is that 3 or 4 games I get a headache. And yeah, yeah, I was really wondering if you were playing competitive in that game, because it is so difficult, man. Like the builds, like not having just like I compare it usually to Warcraft, like Warcraft 3. I, for example, play Warcraft 3 sometimes like competitively in 1v1s, and that game is so much simpler just because you have so fewer units to actually micro during the game, and you have a hero that is like kind of your carry piece that you can center your stuff around, and you also have just like at most, I don't know, 20 units plus your base to micro. In freaking Age of Empires, you have just 200 units, man. 100 of them are workers, sure, like 100 to 120 are workers, depending on the game, but man, it's still so much macro to manage compared to everything else. And yeah, Iron Demon kind of bullying the Fireborn, escorting the Fireborn with freaking Iron Demon is crazy work here. Fire at Will and Big Row, yeah, my brain easy, Big Row, big fun. For example, when it comes to what is it, Armored Core, looks really fun to me. It's just that I don't like what is the new game that just came out? Beyond All Reason thing, right? Beyond All Reason that both Turin and the other guys are also playing. Like some people from our clan also started playing it. Like, it's just not appealing to me. It's just not appealing to me because it is just a bunch of mechs. And it's just not my power fantasy to have a couple of mechs and then go around. But I completely get how people do love that type of stuff. Like, having a cool mech, and I just wasn't indoctrinated into Transformers fast enough when I was a kid for it to matter to me, honestly. 1k hours is really nice, yeah. The game looked good. I even played it myself, but it just didn't keep me there because of the type of game it was. I'll just keep it because they have really nice high-level community with 2K. Yeah, tournaments and stuff. Damn, that's really nice when it comes to the prize pool. 2K for a tournament, that is like more than the entire prize pool that, let's say, Turin offers for one of the tournaments that he does. That's really good. And yeah, this game is pretty much over. It's just a bunch of high elves charging forward, but even if they get the back objective, it's gonna be like impossible to get to the other objectives, especially with the magma cannon still being up. And for AoE, it is hugely difficult to manage. Like, I don't know. But I find it even more difficult at the start when you're just microing the couple of units that are super important. But I feel like if you lose like a couple of archers at the start, you just instantly lose the game. And it's so difficult. Like microing so many. Oh my god, what a shot from the magma cannon, destroying the company of Calendiran. That was one shot that did 2.3k damage, man. Wow. Also coming in, another one. Oh, that's a swing and a miss, but still good. Power is way too much for me. Maybe if I was 20 again, Total War is like, yeah. Yeah, also, Power Fantasy of Total War is like, you go like this, and then you watch the units like fight, even if you like don't want to play the, oh my god, another crazy shot, even if you don't like the multiplayer community aspect of it, and you're like, it's too much for me because there's so much knowledge for this game. Like, it's impossible for a newer player to get into this and do well, just because even if they played like campaign for a bunch of hours. I played, before I started doing multiplayer, I played like 200 hours of campaign, which is nothing. I played like 3 campaigns during that time, man. And I had no knowledge. And I came into like a faction which is, what was it? Warriors of Chaos. It's just so tough, man. Like, I lost 35 games before I won one. Uh, yeah, it's more game knowledge than actual micro. Like in this game, you can get away with just having like, there's a cap. I talked to Ulrich about this a couple of weeks ago. Ulrich Roll. Also check out his stream. He streams in Russian and does community commentary in Russian. But when it comes to the game, like at 100 APM, maybe 120 APM, in this game, you're kind of ceiling locked with what you can do. Like 120 APM in this game basically gets you 90% of the way there. Like that is like 95th percentile of what you need to be like mega competitive, mega successful. Like you're not gonna have any types of problems in the game if you have that type of APM. That's not a lot. Like 120, it's 2 clicks a minute, man. And for stuff like Age of Empires and StarCraft, potentially even Warcraft. Warcraft, you kind of need a bit more, like 150 to 200, probably like the sweet spot there. But for this game, you're kind of like just chill. Like, I've seen players that take, I don't know, 5 minutes whenever I'm facing a player, like especially as a new player. Oh my god, I was so stressed out playing different players when I was a new player, and then later on when I became better, I just they come into chat, and then they stream their game to us because we all hang out in the same voice chat, and then you see them like taking 10 years to like line out every single unit slowly, casually, and then they get into game and they're like, oh, left click, right click over there, left click, right click over there. Like totally chill, no rush in anything, go doing their 50 APM moves, and they're like, oh, good game at the end of the game. Like no worries in their lives, just doing a NPT for the 15th time in a row because they just play on Saturdays and they're just chill like that, and they like to hang out in the voice chats and so on. That is nice. Versus you going in and being like million freaking APM just trying to go over it. And yeah, for this game, Kadai, Magma Cannon. Oh my god, 3k on a Magma Cannon. Obscene. 2k on these guys, and yeah. He picked a artillery piece. It was a good artillery piece. He won game. So very well played to Bird. When it comes to the high elf player, you need something to shut down. And as we predicted, there wasn't something to shut down an artillery piece. He needed something to shut down an artillery piece. And yeah, although difficult to do on a magma cannon, but I don't know if Soul Quench actually kills it. Probably can test that out. But yeah, back to my rant. I indoctrinated into Warhammer when I was like 10, and I've been following it for a very long time. So, honestly, I don't like that much fantasy stuff. Not fantasy, sci-fi stuff. But I've come to absolutely love and enjoy Warhammer fantasy. Even the 40k stuff. Like the 40k stuff especially. Like the normal fantasy. Oh yeah, technically he had Shadow Walkers. Or Shadow Warriors, whichever he picked. He could have used them to kill the Kadai. The problem is just that all of them got shut down properly before they could actually shoot into them. So that also kind of lost him the game. Yeah, unfortunate. That is like a separate problem. Yeah, Chimba. If there was a Hell Cannon, then Soul Quench shuts it down. But as you say, the Dwarven Artillery has the bugged models where you can actually cast spells onto them and they just don't take damage for no reason. So that is kind of unfortunate. That's just due to a bug in the way that they work. But yeah, for Warhammer, I started reading the the books. So let me actually show you. I actually completed the entire Horus Heresy, all 54 books, very recently, and now I am on, I think, the second book. Yeah, I'm currently on the second book of the Siege of Terra, which is awesome. Like the first book was really, really good. Siege of Terra, good series. Also, the what is it called? What is it called? Caiaphas Cain. Caiaphas Cain. So this series is goated, man. This guy, this is like a comedy novel series for Warhammer in 40k. Absolutely hilarious. Like the way that it is written, I absolutely love it. I think somebody in our voice chat in RTK recommended it to me, and it is so good. I very much thoroughly enjoyed it. I think I've done 2 of the series so far, 2 of the books out of all of them so far, but super enjoyable. Very much a high recommendation for the series. It's just dark comedy. He's like a commissar that is there, that gets super promoted every single time for no reason, and then he just stumbles his way upward the entire time. Let me just go back to the game. So we have now Bird against Potatoes Devil. Potatoes Devil is the other side winner. So I think this is a rematch. Did we get the game between them previously? Was that the first game I casted? Question: Are piercing bolts of burning from Lore of Fire seems very similar to Searing Doom? Probably great for stationary time. No, it's a good spell. The problem is its cast time. Cast time is really slow, so that it's easily dodgeable, and it does a lot of damage, honestly, into like monstrous infantry and cavalry. You just need to hit it properly. The difference between it and Searing Doom is that how fast the projectiles come down. So Searing Doom, basically you cast it, I think like a 2-second wind up time, or like 2.5, but it comes down immediately, and the explosions are really good, and it's also cheaper than piercing bolts of Searing Doom. But it's total cast time. That's what I was gonna say. The total cast time of like the piercing bolts is like, you have the 5-second vortex that shows, and then even after the spell casts, you have like the wind up time of stuff like similar to how Fiery Convocation we just saw, that when I was screaming dodge please for Bird's game, like it was super difficult to for him to actually super easy for him to dodge just because of the wind up time. Okay, we got the finals. Grand Cathay getting into the finals here. This is interesting. Here's something like Zatan net, so landed properly, tournament to start. Yeah, the thing is, if you're playing versus intermediate players or newer players, I feel like you're okay, right? Because probably not going to be dodging, so you're kind of fine. But the problem is the people that when you get into the intermediate or higher intermediate to slash higher level players, the people are just gonna dodge. Even in that game, you saw that the opponent, who I've never seen play, was on the level that he was actually dodging the spells properly. Like he dodged the Flames of Asgore, I think twice we saw a dodge on them. So that's what happens. You just waste one, and then you just take Searing Doom, which is faster. And even if they partially dodge it, you still do damage, and you also lose less WOM for missing it. Yeah, yeah. There's like Caiaphas Kane, super good series. I don't know how many you've read. Again, I've read just 2, but man, on Audible, I'm just buying up their books. Just double check this, and yeah, let's hear it for the finalists. So Burb versus Potatoes Devil. What do you do here? This is Borderlow, so you probably can go for a what is it? For a cannon on Grand Cathay side. But you also probably can just go for a Death Shriek and hide it to the side here. That's honestly probably what I would do. Or a Hell Cannon. Hell Cannon absolutely destroys Grand Cathay. Like, probably the best thing on the roster. Got into Warhammer kind of randomly. Based the miniatures and great lore. I was playing some Warhammer RPG casually with friends, but the one guy in school bought me this Cave Army book. Yeah, that is like the indoctrination of many a player that, at least on like the Warhammer channels that I've seen. But it was the same. It was the same with me. Like I don't know where it is. It's here somewhere, very close. Oh, there it is. So I was the same. I just did Warcraft, right? I have the Warcraft 2 Battle.net edition manual thing. Like as soon as it came out, I got my dad got me the Warhammer stuff, and then immediately in 2005, I have the World of Warcraft official strategy guide with like all of the spells and stuff that indoctrinated me into Warcraft. So I kind of went that way compared to Warhammer. And honestly, they're just in Serbia. And honestly, just in Serbia, you just don't have that many shops that do Warhammer. We're kind of poor country. We're basically a third world country, if you ask me. But yeah, how is? Oh right, sorry. So I kind of got indoctrinated into Warhammer or into Warcraft compared to Warhammer, just because there weren't enough people playing Warhammer for it to spread. And even today, like there are kind of shops that do play stuff like Magic the Gathering and Warhammer, but it's a rich man's hobby, I would say, compared to stuff like just playing like a random video game. Over time, that will change, but yeah, hopefully more people get into Warhammer for sure over here. And yeah, lifetime hobbies are completely random like that. I do like that. Let's actually check out the armies. So Bird probably being, let me just double check. Calling Bird out here with just a bunch of people. Yep, in chat, probably theorizing an army for him and with him into Grand Cathay. But I would say in how you play, maybe it's just books out for the game. Yeah, but you kind of just get everything now online. At that point, it wasn't. I had dial-up internet when I had those books, man. Like, or internet didn't even exist at that point. So it was just kind of different. but they do kind of they do just give you a sense of belonging into it, into the entire hobby, and I do like them still. Like something physical like that is very, very nice and informative. And let's see, Bird's Army. So he kind of does go for a death streak, and we do see something change at least here for, yeah, double Grand Cannon. Let's see if something changes for the army of Potatoes Devil here. Come on, Devil. Oh, he brings in a Celestial Lion, so he goes for another combo of Celestial. Was that the game that we saw previously? Was this a rematch? Let me see. Bird into Potatoes. Yeah, that we did see the rematch of it. So he's going again for a similar build as previously. So going for 2 cannons. Isn't this basically the same build? Astromancer with Chain Lightning. Probably Searing Doomcaster. It is going to be that, yes. 2 slow armies facing each other with artillery. I still think that Chaos Dwarfs have an advantage because Death Shrieks are just a better artillery piece, honestly. The problem is with Death Shrieks is they can be compromised, but you need to like pick a spot for them. And that spot is probably just going to be like far back, honestly. With the spot being far back, like standing like right here, I think he can cover this point right here. And I think it's probably going to go the same as game 1. Like we see basically the same army. So Astromancer, Lord Magistrate, I question why he doesn't go for just a Celestial General with the sweep ability. If he goes for a Celestial General on a Celestial Lion with the sweep ability, he can just go on to the Chaos Dwarf Warriors and then clap him. And it seems that Bird heard heard the word and brought the Chaos Dwarf Warriors with great weapons this time. So he didn't go just for the normal ones. He did add the other Dwarf Warriors to fight off the Jade Warrior Halberds and also any type of like Jade Lancer stuff. So that is a smart addition to his army. He went wider than I think previously, and that allowed him to get to grab a couple of Dwarf Warriors great weapons too. Yes, yeah, it is. It isn't that they're difficult to deal with. They are kind of suffering from a bug, and the bug is that their models are not where they're supposed to be. At least that's my understanding of it. Maybe Chimba can weigh in on this, but like if you're looking for, it's probably gonna be like a first summon for that, right? So we can look at the model, but let's say we look at this model for now. So if you're looking at one of the models for it, if where would you cast something? You would probably cast directly onto the model of the unit right here, and that model of the unit would take damage from it. But the problem is that the length of the unit, like the center of the unit is weirdly positioned, so if you kind of target the whole model, it doesn't properly do the damage for where it should be. So units targeting that unit kind of default miss and don't do the damage that they should be. You can most easily see this with spells and also with like a Little Grom, because Little Grom, you need to target specifically the bare asses for you to hit the model properly, because the length of the model is just so long that the center of it is like on top of the bare ass. And if you target the backline cannon, it doesn't take damage. If you target the frontline bears, it doesn't take damage, but you need to target like the specific bear ass to for it to properly do damage. Am I the one lagging this game? What is happening? So this is a bit of a slugfest, unfortunately. I might need to drop But let's see if it fixes itself here. Let me just double check that they don't send it to me. Okay, so it is kind of laggy. I might need to drop from this game and then we just wait for the... Okay, it evened out. Okay, we're better right now. So, same thing. Cannons kind of shooting into the front. Bird very smartly doing a whole line formation. And then the line formation is going to take less damage from everything. Shooting cannons into slaves is basically a non-factor for him. Checking out the forest with the Hobgoblin Wolf Rider is very smart from Bird here. And then he's just moving forward onto the frontline objective to capture it, especially with the capture rate of the 2 Castellans. That is very nice to see. Hello, Navi. I am, just so you know, I am streaming the finals of the tournament, but we can play Deadlock right after this.
Alright.
Yeah. Yep. And yeah, we see the Castellans starting to shoot in, but they're kind of being peppered, especially with the Iron Hills being so close. So he's kind of moving more to the side of the objective here. So we're gonna see them. Oh, we have Crane Gunners. This is a good tech here. So Deathstreak comes out, and as long as Potatoes Devil can properly dodge, he's not gonna have a problem with the Deathstreak. But it is a micro tax that in one micro tax after another can happen during the game. So yeah, it is definitely difficult to keep track of all of the units that it actually targets. A tech into not being able to dodge with the Deathstreak or not dodging the Deathstreak is target a unit, put it as when the thing goes into the air, the rocket goes into the air, then you stop targeting the proper unit and then you move it. But the cannons, man, cannons being completely ready for the Deathstreak and absolutely wrecking face, doing 50% damage already. If they do one more volley onto them, and Potatoes Devil doing great dodge mechanics over here. Damn. Also, is the Deathstreak boogieing too hard? No. Very good. But with the Onyx Crowman also being in the backline, this looks like a dead Deathstreak to me. If they land, they have magic damage. They're gonna go onto this. They have relatively good like melee attack. So I think they can compromise the Deathstreak, and if it goes offline, that is a really big problem for Bird compared to like the first game. This is definitely got cooked in the matchup in this specific game compared to the previous one, where he definitely was at a disadvantage. Very nice. What is this spell over here? Final Transmutation, again casted onto the ground. Nice try. Getting the Astromancer, getting the Lord Magistrate, but these are very low tier units that you really don't want. And there's actually a counter Final Transmutation upgraded onto the Sorcerer Prophet of Metal over here. Not even taking the Blood Chalice either, so that is going to be a quite a bit problem, especially with Crane Gunners and Iron Hills just finishing him off after the Final Transmutation. This is gonna be a dead Sorcerer Prophet, and with that, along with the Deathstreak needing to just dodge out and dip out constantly out of range, I think Potatoes Devil might have this game in the bag. Also, sidelining with Peasant Horsemen over here. The Jade Warriors and Jade Warrior Halberds are just holding the line, even though they're fighting Dwarf Warriors. So they're going to be up trading over time. But it does seem that Bird is on the back foot in this game, at least for now. 500 value on the Crane Gunners. The Deathstreak basically doing no damage, 95. Just needs to move a bit. It needs to honestly move a bit closer to the side here, and then use the small forest as a defensive mechanism for defending itself. Astromancer getting kind of compromised over here. The Deathstreak, unfortunately, in his first shot or second shot, completely missing, and we see a beautiful Chain Lightning over here directly onto the perfect boxed formation of the Chaos Dwarfs. Completely dead. And now Celestial Lion is out to start hunting both the Lord. I would honestly first hunt the Lord and then start off on the train, wherever it is. It's over here. Kind of rampaging. through the peasant long spearmen, but they are getting compromised and still not killing none of the backline infantry. Very smartly also keeping one of the Jade Warriors very close here to just give them harmony, so he has the harmony buff on all of his units, especially the cannons. Cannons still getting 2 models, and now Sorcerer Prophet is dead. This looks like, oh my god, got absolutely destroyed by the cannonballs through his dead little body over there on foot. Unfortunate. It still isn't close enough in points for something to matter over here. And this is a good play from Bird going into the backline, now completely compromising both the crane gunners and one of the cannons. Or no, it was the Iron Hill gunners. So he really needs to keep the cannons offline. And at this point, I think he needs to swap from the cannons onto the Iron Hills, because the Iron Hills are going to be the ones maximally shooting into the Iron Demon and potentially killing it. You look at that volley, like 20% of their HP just getting shot at from there. Celestial Lion kind of being mismicroed from Potatoes level, unfortunately. He definitely should have... in the end, the Sorcerer Prophet does die, but the Celestial Lion really needs to go onto the Iron Demon here and start hitting it there. Very good dodges, like dodging like a crazed person. And this is why you would need a different sort of artillery piece. Because if a player is good enough, like every single shot from the Deathshriek rocket launcher can technically be dodged. And there goes another one potentially just right now. And this Jade Warrior Halberd is just chilling over there. Both of the Infernal Castellans just peppering, doing damage over time, 400 value, 350 value. Now that this is a micro tax, right? So he didn't dodge that one, but just about every single one before that did get dodged. Backline objective also being captured by Grand Cathay. Man, if you're getting outmaneuvered... Oh no, never mind. I swapped sides of the map, sorry. For a second I thought I was on the Chaos Dwarf Warrior side. So Dwarf Warriors or Chaos Dwarfs capturing their own objective. Backline objective still not captured by Bird. Front midline objective, there's just too much stuff over here. And I think at this point Bird is kind of cooked. But if he doesn't shut down the Iron Demon, potentially there is a way for him to get back into the game. But the front line is just so dead. Like, all of the Jade Warriors are still alive. There's enough HP and enough models. These guys should probably be unsummoned. But there's enough HP and enough models for him to stand on the objective and win on 2. Compared to what Bird has, which is just a couple of Castellans and then a Kadai Fireborn that is coming in. What the hell was that shot? I think that was just a freaking... oh my god. That was the Iron Demon just randomly shooting up into the air. Iron Demon still at 220 HP. It can terror out this entire blob. And maybe if somehow the Lord Magistrate just croaks over and dies, this game can turn around. This is definitely a misplay from Potatoes Devil, blobbing up with one infantry unit and two cavalry units onto something like a Chaos Dwarf Warrior. There's just nothing to be had there. And if Potatoes Devil doesn't mitigate the capture weight on the middle objective, it is kind of starting to flip. This Iron Demon, man, at 220 HP, just running over the Lord Magistrate and the Astromancer, it's still being alive. Honestly, at this point, I think the Iron Demon needs to die so that at some point Bird can actually resummon it. And the Deathshriek are now completely doing damage to the blob fighting. Man, if it gets a shot into here, that would be devastating. And I think he's right now targeting it, which it's gonna be in range very soon. And there are no Grand Cannons. Like, that one Iron Demon with 220 HP is still running around and running over everything. At this point, I truly think that this thing needs to die for Bird to win the game, just because he wants a resummon on it. Like, I would start even like waiting for my value. And Bird actually takes the midline objective somehow Celestial Lion, man. This thing should have been the carry piece. No, Celestial Lion really needed to hunt down the freaking Iron Demon like 10 minutes ago to get this game back on track. Oh no, now the Iron Demon with 44 HP still causing havoc in the backline. And now Deathshriek is on its way. Deathshriek going in, going for the fight. And oh, good shot into both units over there. That Celestial Line is probably not coming back if it gets hit one more time by the Kadai Fireborn. And man, Astromancer and these guys are just standing on the objective, holding their ground. Now, because of the lack of unsummons in the backline, everything seems to be collapsing for Potatoes Devil very slowly. Very nice shots again from the Deathshriek, which isn't... I don't know how it lived, man. Like, how did he keep it alive in the backline? Insane. Now the Kadai are kind of wrecking face in the backline. They are overextending a tiny bit, like way too much into the backline here. And now they're gonna start to be picked apart by the crossfires from the Iron Hails here. But if there's enough units to start moving onto the objective, there's another Iron Demon. That's what we're looking for. So another Iron... Oh, pardon me. Another Iron Demon summon. But, oh man, this is so close though. I don't know now with the Iron Demon summoned. I don't know if there's enough capture weight in this game to properly stop Potatoes Devil from running over with it. There's still a crew coming back to these two units over here. These Kadai are on the verge of demonic instability. They're just now going to completely crumble. And 2 Castellans isn't going to be enough to actually hold everything here. I think... Did one of them actually die? No, it's just stuck in a Halberd unit over there. So, I don't know what is damaging these guys. What is damaging them over here? How did these guys take so much damage? Exposed flank, damaged by everything. Castellans just chilling. Oh, is that an overcasted final transmutation? Oh, is that... the proper Lord? It is Lord Magister about to bite the dust. Is it overcasted? Yes. Okay, so if he dies from the final trend, he won't die though. There's too much HP on him still. So he's very close to death. If he kind of gets picked apart somehow, there is potential for the comeback. Honestly, is it worth it to even kill him? I think it's more worth it to cast it on like a blob over here and then kill 2 of the other casters at this point, just because of the capture weight, man. Like, these guys aren't probably going to rout, and the Castellans are still there. It's just too many random units. And especially dwarfs actually do hold the backline objective, but they're being picked apart on the points. So they need to be on the backline here to defend themselves from the outplay that is happening. And oh no, the Iron Demon goes off the objective here. If it wants to actually save the objective, he needs to immediately retarget and get back onto the objective. But I think with all of these tattered shitty units going onto the objective, Potatoes Devil will take over the backline objective of the dwarves, and that is going to be really tough, because that buys so much time for him to just reform all of the ranks here and reform the crossfires that he needs. The problem is that all of this is just Iron Hills. So if there is like a Hobgoblin Wolf Rider unit that goes on to any of these units, they're all completely cooked. The problem is he's still kept in his backline here, which will be cleaned up, but will it be fast enough? Every second counts here, and these Jade Lancers really do have a big problem that they're going to be routed to, and there's just nothing to summon now. So double charge, Hobgoblins kind of take a bunch of damage, but with the Iron Demon here, with the support, these guys get terror routed instantly. Chaos Dwarf Warriors starting their little long march of moving forward. And it's a transmutation for transmutation, or no? Oh, the pew pew. This guy, absolutely ready to execute the Alchemist in one more shot. Come on, boy. Reload that rifle. Let's go. And, oh, he kapooms into the Astromancer here. And this lady gets killed by the Sorcerer Prophet. The other guy also kind of is on the verge of routing from like one more shot. And that is going to flip the capture rate of the midline objective. And Potatoes also summons in the Empress's Crowman. Very good unit. Problematic though. Why? It flies. It doesn't have capture rate. There's nothing. Oh, he should not unsummon the Jade Lancers, honestly. He should just put them back on this objective just to threaten it. That is, I think, in the long run, a misplay. Because all of the other units already routed off, but he might be just scared because he doesn't have any mobility to summon in, right? So that might be the reason that he is. And Bird is smartly going for the side here to compromise the Iron Hell Gunners because he knows, oh no, he retargets. He thinks this frontline fighting is more important. I think he needs to compromise the backline objectives just so that his Iron Demon doesn't get karate chopped by the crossfires. So like have one Hobgoblin go into, let's say, this Iron Hell and then the other one go into there. But we will see if the Iron Demon is OP enough to win that fight. I don't think he can. With 3 Hobgoblins, this is the fight that he wants. He needs to avoid the Onyx Crowman. Like, he needs to just not get caught with them. It's going to take too much time for him to actually kill the Onyx Crowman and get onto the objective. He needs to just get onto the objective. Iron Demon scooting on through definitely needs to get off the source, off the Castellan and into the Iron Hills. Like, it needs to disco over here ASAP and start killing those guys. Again, because it's just capture rate. And he is now almost in triple cap territory. He needs like 10 more seconds. Potato needs like 10 or 15 more seconds. And this is the problem, man. If the Hobgoblins were over here compromising the Iron Hail Gunners and the other Iron Hail Gunners, I think this Iron Demon is at like 70% HP instead of 20. And it can potentially carry the game. Also, definitely a misplay with the Infernal Castellan not being on the objective here, with just giving 3 more extra capture weight there. And we see the other Hobgoblin. No, the Hobgoblin's definitely being problematic. And also the Onyx Crowman just kind of kept the Dwarf Warriors off the objective. He really needs to stand on the objective. Come on, Dwarf Warriors. Okay, he's on it. He does recapture it. But let's do the calculation here. So it is 150 to 300. Like 150 in a couple of seconds to 300. Yeah, he needs a triple cap here. And with Iron Demon being so low, ooh, it is going to be super, super close. Like, he needs to start sending something over there ASAP. ASAP. And it's not going to be enough just to send like one shitty Hobgoblin, because that one shitty Hobgoblin can get ganged by 2 Onyx Crowmen, and that is going to be a problem. And the Iron Demons and trains at 1 HP are same as brand new. It does, yeah, I do agree. Especially because you take the Hellbound thing, right? The Hellforged thing, which basically, he didn't even take the Hell, no, he did. So they get perfect Vigor and 20% Fizz Res. I don't know. That kind of seems overpowered to me. But let's not talk to Lemur about it. So, smartly leaving a couple of warriors over here and sending his SCs to the backline objective. SCs don't lose capture weight the more damage that they take. So another Iron Demon. Choo-choo, motherfucker. We're going for the backline objective over here. I think he needs at least... Oh no, did the Iron Demon die? Yeah, that is... If Bird loses this game, it's purely because not targeting the Hobgoblins onto the Iron Hills over there at that one point. He still kind of has enough capture rate somehow. I don't know how. He still has enough capture rate on this objective to be continually winning it. And with 2 units and Iron Demon going over here, he's going to have enough capture rate for this one too. If he captures the objective for 1 second, it's over for Potatoes Devil. This is such a razor close game. No, do we have a crash? Please don't be a crash. There is no way that there is a crash. Okay, stuff is still moving. Also, resummoning a cannon. This is a bit of a misplay from a Potatoes Devil. I don't think he had anything else to summon though at that point, but the cannon just isn't going to be properly like even damaging the Iron Demon. I don't think it deals enough damage for it to matter compared to summoning in, let's say, a Jade Lancer or a Peasant Horseman or anything that can just stall the objective over here. It does have tattered units in the middle, I agree, and it is now kind of winning the midline fight, and with just one Castellan being here, this boy is not going to be able to hold it. And the slave core that is coming over here is just too slow. It is not going to be able to get to the midline objective. It all comes down to if Bird can capture the backline objective. But with the extra Peasant Horseman being here, I don't know if he can actually terror route them fast enough for it to matter. He still has enough, but the problem is he needs to turn the Iron Demon, put on more power, and go into this Jade Warrior Halberd, because these guys might actually sway the objective. And Bird taps out. No. GG's to Potatoes Devil, and congratulations to the win. It was super, super close there at the end. And I feel like it comes down to a couple of misplays from both sides in it not being a clearer game. So the first thing for Potatoes Devil that he should have done, he like mismicroed his Celestial Lion like crazy. This boy needed to hunt down the Lord first, one of the Castellans after potentially, and then after that go for the Iron Demon. Super, super close game though. Iron Hails, very good micro on them. Trains are just OP bullshit, and this was a great showcase on why they are OP bullshit. Other than that, really well played. Good dodges, great dodges on spells, great dodges on the Death Shriek, and good compromising on the Death Shriek. For Bird, at some point he moved his Castellans a bit off the ground there. Sorcerer Lord of Metal, definitely. Final transmutations were also very well dodged by Potatoes Devil, so it technically wasn't on Bird to like do anything special there. Maybe just target the blobs a bit differently. And then, man, that one decision, I think purely that one decision cost him the game. He overextended with the Kadai into the back, but even with the overextension, I feel like if he just had one of the Hobgoblins not fight the Empress's Crowmen, and the other one just, again, scoot on to the side, compromise the Iron Hail Gunners, I think he easily wins that game. Iron Demons just being really, really strong. And yeah, that is pretty much it. Congratulations to Potatoes Devil. I don't know if this is like the first tournament that he has won this season, but again, this one technically doesn't count towards the leaderboard, but congratulations to him nonetheless. And yeah, I hope you guys have had a super fun time here. Let me just double check who joined us. Yeah, I hope you guys had a super fun time. We will be continuing to do these things in like every single week. So do also check out the RTK Total War YouTube channel, and also check out my channel if you're interested in seeing the competitive games along with the just standard stuff that that we post there. On the RTK Total War channel, we kind of do tier lists and stuff like that, and on our on my channel here, Brainiac Renataki, I do a bunch of casts for our special league, which is the Warhammer League. So yeah, love to see you in the next one, and I'll see you guys on the next stream. Thank you very much for watching and for hanging out with me, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.